10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yo, welcome to the Blue Lounge, welcome to the stream. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is having a good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. Boy, what a match, what a cup final, what a match and what a cup final. It's my first cup final that I've actually attended live. I've been to many games, but none of them have been cup finals. This was the very first time I actually attended a live cup final, and it was at Wembley Stadium. Amazing. The atmosphere was fantastic. I'm going to fill you in to my experience in regards to the game yesterday. My journey to the stadium and all of that. I know some of you guys caught my live stream in the car. I'm going to be giving you that experience, what it felt like. We're then going to watch the press conference, and then we're going to discuss the match. And then we're going to discuss a whole bunch of other topics. We're going to touch up on the Roman Abramovic initiative to help the situation in Ukraine. We're going to talk about the Board of Trustees and the situation surrounding them. We'll be doing a lot of talking, a lot of discussing, and a lot of, hopefully, we're going to get a lot of opinions, a lot of points of view from people here on the panel and you guys in the chat. Let me welcome some of these champions here. RD, welcome. He says, Mount cost us the game, and he's saying, Mo, you never called out Mount. I didn't really address the game yet. I haven't really spoken about the game yet. So, I will be speaking about the game in due course. Will I be calling out Mount? Or I'll be speaking about the game. I'll be giving my opinion on the game in due course. Horizon, big up to you. This summer is crucial. It will be. Very, very interesting summer coming up. So big up to you, Horizon. You've commented a lot. You've commented for the past half an hour before the stream started. You've commented a lot. Anyway, we'll address some of those comments in due course. Abdul B, welcome back. Haven't seen you for a while, so big up to you. Good to see you back in the stream. MCIG, good priest. Oh, you guys were discussing it in the pre-stream. All right, big up to you guys. Bobby Fairview, where have you been, man? What have you been doing? I've been worried about you, man. Good to see you back. John Arnold, big up Chelsea. So big up Chelsea are not the same at Wembley without Drogba. Chelsea not the same anywhere without Drogba, but it's been like that for a few years now, man. He's retired. Tyrone, I asked what Chelsea would show up. A 4-1 win was tactically coached, but poor shooting as well as two poor VAR decisions caused Tuchel to miss out on his first domestic trophy. Poor finishing, definitely. Tyrone. That Mason Mount post, man. I was literally in front of that, and I could not understand how he missed that. But it was a miss. But there was a lot of crucial elements that made us lose that game. Work, time zone. Yeah, I feel you, mate. I feel you, Bobby. I feel you. Big up to you, and thank you for making the time to be on the stream. Respect for that. Luke Mudway, good to see you back. Courtney, blessed to have you in my stream. And Zaidi, Chelsea, big up everyone. Let me introduce the champions I have on the panel. Eric Blue, the newly promoted podfather, and that is a private joke. I can't tell you anymore, but he's been promoted. And Couch Critic, big up to you, man. I hope you guys are having a good evening.
Big up. Yeah, not bad. Saw the video of you guys on your way to Wembley.
The car, yeah. Yeah, no, listen. A cup final, and this is the man that I want to address. He literally just popped in. This is the man that I want to address. If it wasn't for this man, the whole thing yesterday would not have been possible. The governor from Northern Ireland. What a gentleman. What a geezer. What a bloke. Seriously. Listen, he goes by the governor, but his name is Darren. Darren and his mate Josh contacted me on stream when they found out I did not have a ticket to the cup final. And I said, look, mate, we've got a spare one. If you want it, it's yours. And I'm like, yeah, I'll have it. Cheers. And then I'm like, you wouldn't have a spare one, would you? And he's like, who's it for? I'm like, it's for Max Burton. And he's like, let me see what I can do. And literally within a few minutes, he's like, tell Max he's going to Wembley Stadium, man. It was a pleasure to meet him. It was a pleasure to watch the game with him and Josh. We went through all the highs and lows of that game. And boy, there was a lot of highs and a hell of a lot of lows. But Damon, Josh, big up to you, and thank you for a fantastic day that you guys made possible. So big up to you guys. Big up to Gov, and big up to Josh. And also Max Burton, who will be joining us in just under an hour. So, also yesterday, Worldwide Chelsea, Sadiq, he wanted to know if I knew where he could park his car close to the stadium. So we sorted him out, and he joined us for the first part of the journey, and he was in that live stream in the car. Great lads, Max Burton, Sadiq from Worldwide Chelsea, great lads, and I ask you guys to go and subscribe to their channels. If you haven't seen their content, if you haven't watched their channels, go subscribe. Different type of content to what you get on the Blue Lounge. And it's good content. It's different, but it's good. Chelsea content. If you want to go for the historical, the facts, the stats, the in-depth analysis, Max Burton is your channel. If you want to go for the light-hearted, more, what's the word here? More mainstream vibes, Worldwide Chelsea. That's where you want to be. So two great channels, two great content creators. So go check them out. Guys, the game yesterday, we approached it in a very positive manner. When I saw the lineup, I was shocked at some of the decisions. I was happy to see Mendy starting. I was concerned to see Ziyech not on the team sheet and in the squad, so that was concerning for me. And the fact that Lukaku wasn't starting was a little bit worrying for me as well. I totally understand why he went for Havertz. The way the game played we were dominating the hell out of them for the first 15 minutes. Liverpool did not know how to deal with it. The first 15 minutes, we dominated. Then Liverpool started to put in some hard tackles, to put in some some ugly football into play, and they started to turn the tide. Throughout the game, both teams were playing some great football. Some players that you would have thought would have stinkers, like Alonso, he didn't. He handled himself well. And I was literally sitting, by the corner flag, so I could see. I had a good angle from where he was playing, and even at the second half, Marcos Alonso handled himself well. Everyone handled themselves well. Finishing was poor. That being said, we scored 3 goals. But for some reason, whenever we were onside, we were hitting the post, or we were shooting wide. Havertz a couple of times and Mason Mount once. We scored. Offside. We scored. Offside. I was literally worried to celebrate a goal, because every time we scored, the entire, part of Wembley that we were at, and it was, the stadium was literally half Chelsea, half Liverpool, and it was packed. 85,000 people were in that stadium. Every time we scored, that half of the stadium was all jumping up for joy, and literally half a second later, everyone had to just be quiet and look. And what was it? Who was offside? How was it offside? And that was the problem that we were in. It was offside time and time again. When Kai Havertz scored, I didn't even celebrate. I was literally just watching, I was waiting for the referee to say offside. And guess what? He said offside. I didn't look. I didn't even see if it was offside or not, because I knew the referee was going to give it that. Because Lukaku's goal was a fantastic take, a fantastic drive, and a fantastic shot by a person who is having a horrendous time at Chelsea, largely because of what he has done. But that was the case. He scored a very, very good goal. A very, very good goal. Everyone was celebrating. Everyone was happy. And then the referee, VAR. And it took a long time. And it was given as offside. And all of you have seen the replays, the photos, and we all know it wasn't offside. The thing is this, we were worried and we were afraid that when this game was going to kick off, regardless of what Chelsea did on that pitch, we were never going to win. And you start to feel that in the stadium. You start to feel that, the fans start to look at each other. It's like, this isn't going to be our night, is it? It's not happening, is it? And then penalties. And by the way, they should have been down to 10 men. Mason Mount took an elbow to the face. Chalobah took studs to the groin. Well, I think he's got 7 stitches. Liverpool should have been punished harsher than they were. It isn't Liverpool's fault. I'm not putting any blame here on Liverpool. As a team, they went out on that pitch and they played a good game of football. If the officials, if the referee, if VAR is going to go down a certain route and a certain path, that's not in Liverpool's hands, is it? Penalties. Shot after shot after shot. Fantastic penalties. You can't go wrong. You can't blame the keeper. You can't blame the shooter. Everyone had a fantastic shot. Everyone. Liverpool, Chelsea. Kepa. Should Kepa have been substituted? Should Mendy have stayed? Well, obviously we're all going to say Mendy should have stayed because we saw the outcome. But had Mendy have stayed and would have had the same outcome, everyone would have been saying Kepa should have been brought on. You see, we have hindsight to look at. We can say, we can reflect on that. Tuchel can't. The decision he made. I was happy to see him make that decision. I was on the ground, I was watching, and I was happy. I'm like, how many more minutes? Oh, in a couple of minutes, Kepa's going to be getting up and getting ready to come on. And he did. And he took a massive reception. Everyone was clapping. We were all happy to see him come on because we knew penalties, Kepa in goal, things were going to look good. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way. Kepa thought he was taking a goal kick when he should have been putting it top bins. Unlucky Kepa. 120 minutes of football is sorted out, or is resolved by one kick. A goalkeeper kick. So, Chelsea lose the Carabao Cup final to Liverpool. Congratulations to Liverpool. Good game. You played a good game. Referees didn't play a good game, but you guys did what you had to do. So, enjoy the cup, enjoy the victory. But we are still the world champions, and we are still the European champions, and we salute the Carabao Cup champions. So enjoy it, lads. Before I open the discussion and talk about the game with my panelists and with you guys, I want to reflect upon what Tuchel had to say after the game, because Tuchel addressed the press. Wow, look at how many comments are in the group. All right, let's. We're going to look at the Tuchel post-match, and then we'll look at Tuchel's post-match press conference, and then we'll start the debate. Let's have a look. Let me bring it up on your screen. It's just loading. Let me get rid of the adverts. And by the way, guys, if you're just joining and you haven't hit the like button yet, do me that favor and smash the like button. And if you're new, subscribe to the Blue Lounge. I'd very much appreciate that. All right, let's have a look at what Tuchel had to say.
To lose a final, how do you react to what's unfolded tonight?
I'm very proud on the performance and on what we delivered today. I mean, excellent, brilliant game of football, and we played a huge part in it. Like I say, I'm proud on the team, and it was an excellent performance. We could have won it. They could have won it. It was such a tight game. Even the penalties were like full of quality, unbelievable. And yeah, in the end, somebody needs to lose. It was a tight match, and they were more lucky than us today.
Like you said, an incredible game. Have you ever been a part of a 0-0 draw quite like that?
It never felt like a 0-0. There's so many goals, so many offside decisions, so many big chances, like also created. And I mean, we had to defend against maybe the best attacking side in the world in terms of individual quality and high rhythm. We defended so well and found always moments where we dominated the game, where we controlled the game. Huge performance again. I mean, we have here Trevor, since he did not play, I think, for 6-8 weeks and needs to play 120 minutes against Diaz, Mane, Salah. Brilliant. Reece comes after 8 weeks of injury and plays almost an hour on this kind of level. I'm proud, I have to say. We're in a good way because we come. It was like a bit rough for us, but since we come back from Abu Dhabi, have a bit of a tight game against Crystal Palace, trained very well after, played a good match against Lille, trained even better after. I feel the group again growing, and it's good. This was proof today. top match.
We saw you get the group together in a huddle after the penalty shootout. What was your message to the players?
The same, to say we have no regrets today. You did excellent. I don't want nobody to lose sleep tonight, because we could not have done better. Of course, Mason will be angry that he did not hit the goal. Of course, like Kepa will be, okay, I cannot help. They will be sad and angry, but overall, there are no regrets today. This is how you play, and you cannot predict any result, but this is the kind of game we want to see, and they can hear it. It was good, and I was proud on them, and that's what I told them.
In a strange way, does an experience like this help to galvanise the group going into
I hope, because there's no need to think too much about this result. I mean, there was enough to go the other way. And like I say, I felt the group like this during the last games, the last weeks. It's good. We're coming back. We got quality back today with Reece, which is a huge impact for us. And we're in good shape. Good to see.
Finally, they must be mentally, physically exhausted. What's the plan for the next couple of days?
Recovering, and nothing else. We are on the road again on Wednesday, and we'll be tough enough.
All right, let's watch the press conference, and then we'll discuss. I think it's better to see them both before we jump in and address the reaction. Just loading up. All right. Sorry, lads. I just got to go through some of these messages that are on the screen. All right.
Kepa's moment at the end there. It feels harsh on a goalkeeper who's been so good at penalties.
Yeah, it is. So feel bad for him, of course, but no blame. Of course, we took the decision like we did last time in a penalty shootout, because Kep is training with the players on a daily basis. Penalties, they know how good he is. He has simply more time on the training ground to do this than Edu, who plays a lot more. So everybody knows how good he is, how difficult it is to shoot. So he this plays a huge part in how good we shot today. And unfortunately, could not save. The penalties were brilliantly taken. And yeah, it was a bit harsh on him today that he was the guy to miss the one and only penalty. But there's no blame.
James Robson.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
When you review that game, do you think you should have won it? And I wonder if, in your mind, given how close that was, it's now 4 games with Klopp, he's not beaten you over 90 minutes. Does that show how close you are with Liverpool?
Yes, absolutely. I think, we have to accept also the quality of the opponent. I mean, this is maybe the most dangerous attacking side at the moment in Europe. And full of individual quality and playing such a high rhythm. So defending like this and playing like this on this level made me very proud today. I saw a brilliant match of football over 120 minutes. We played a huge part in it. I have the feeling that we created a bit more, that we were a bit more there, but maybe that's also subjective. This game could have easily gone either way. You need a bit of luck, you need a bit of momentum to win it. If you look at the line that is drawn in the goal from Romelu, it's a bit a weird line, I have to say, where it's drawn and then to make the decision that this is offside. But that's it. I mean, we cannot have any regrets. I'm very proud of the performance of the team. There are a lot of good things, and I told the guys we should not lose sleep about this. This is entertaining match of football full of intensity, and I'm very happy to had the chance to be part of this. Was excellent.
Andy Dillon.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Commiserations. Just a couple from me, please. Just one on a football theme to start with. You were just saying there, no blame for Kepa. I just wondered if you still stand by your decision to bring him on when you did so late in the game, if you still think that was the right thing to do. Just your verdict on that. And also, just if I could get your reaction, please, to the news that we all saw last night about Roman Abramovic handing over control of the club.
Well, I take the decisions when I take the decisions, and I only take them when I want to take them. I cannot rejudge my decisions when I know what's the outcome, and we all don't know what would have happened if we left Edu on the pitch. This is how it is, so no blame on him. Okay, of course, blame on me. I'm the guy to take the decisions. Sometimes it works out, and sometimes it does not work out. But this is life as a football coach. This is life as a football coach who does substitutions. Sometimes you bring a player and then he scores. Sometimes you bring a player and he makes a decisive mistake. This is what happens. So no regrets, and if to take the blame, absolutely on me, and I take the responsibility for that, of course. For the news yesterday, I think that will change nothing for me on a daily basis. This is how I understand it. I am in close contact with Marina and with Petr Cech to run the first team of football at Chelsea Football Club, and to give my input and to take care about this, that we are and give my very best that we are able to win football matches, and this will not change, and I think it will not change with the news from yesterday.
Last question, Matthew Dunn.
Hi, Thomas. Were you tempted to change your mind given the way that Edward had played for the 2 hours? And do you feel that, have you spoken to him about not getting a winner's medal when he worked so hard to get Chelsea to penalties in the first place?
Sorry, Matt, can you repeat that?
Yeah, sorry. Have you spoken to Edward, and given he worked so hard to get you to penalties in the first place, were you not tempted to change your mind and give him a chance to be the hero?
Yeah, but they know. You think we do this and don't talk to the players before? I mean, the players know, and we did it before. And I mean, it's a nice subject now for you to make headlines. But I mean, mistakes happen. I do mistakes. Edu did a big mistake, and we got almost punished with a decisive goal. So I mean, you make it a bit easy for yourself, I have the feeling. But if you want to blame somebody, blame me. This is not a problem. I take the decisions, and I don't take them to be the hero. We have reasons. I tried to explain the reasons. It was not the first time, and today it took 11 penalties to find a winner, and there are no regrets. If you need to blame somebody, blame me. It's no problem.
Okay, that's the end of the press conference. Thank you very much.
All right, so if you want to blame anybody, blame me. Blame Thomas Tuchel. Edouard Mendy had a good game, but he also almost conceded or led to a goal being scored against us. A very bad kick, misjudged kick. But human beings make mistakes, and human beings do great things. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to open the discussion to my panelists. I'm going to give them a couple of minutes each to give me their thoughts and opinions on how they saw the game yesterday, and then we will discuss the decisions and the performances of the players. I know a lot of you guys are asking me to talk about Mason Mount. I'll address Mason Mount. But let me hear from the panelists first in regards to their view of the game. Eric, Podfather, Couch, welcome. Let me start with Eric. Eric, let me hear your thoughts on the game yesterday, and what stood out for you, mate.
Yeah, just to quickly respond to the last part of the press conference. You know, I hear a lot of ex-players and pundits saying that that was the wrong decision. You know, and apparently the feeling in the stadium among Liverpool fans was that Mendy would have been, they would have been worried if Mendy was the person to take be in goal for the penalties. And it's a thing for me that everybody's an expert when something doesn't go right. You know, these people want to pretend as if they know better than Tuchel with the decision he made, and I'm not in favor of it. Obviously, everybody has everybody can see it the way they want to see it. I'm sure people have a different opinion, but for me, that was always the right decision to make. And everybody knows that, or at least most people know, definitely Chelsea fans, we know that Mendy is just not as good, right, at penalties. And which is what makes AFCON such a big deal, right? Because he was in goal and he managed to save one penalty. And his penalty save was so important for them winning the trophy. But I think Tuchel didn't make any mistakes there. There's no doubt in my mind that he made the right decision. It's easy to just, look at hindsight and say he was wrong. But I don't have too much to say about the overall performance. It obviously was, it wasn't a case that Liverpool won, even though, credits to them, congratulations to them, they deserve the win. But for me, Chelsea threw it away. We had the chances, we should have won.
All right, Eric, you said Chelsea threw it away. There is another way to look at this. It was stolen from Chelsea. Chelsea were robbed.
I mean,
what'd you say about that?
That's a whole. I mean, we could do a whole stream about that, right?
We are. This is it. We are.
I mean, okay. So we know what If people want to pretend like it's not a thing, I guess they can just go ahead with that. But for me, it's very obvious. And as much as I don't like to focus on it, everybody knows that there's an agenda against Chelsea. Everybody knows that, the referees in England, they're just not very good, right? And it seems like the laws keep changing every week, and we don't know what the laws are anymore, It's just very baffling decisions. Even the offside thing. People want to talk about offside. And I heard someone comparing offside with the goal line technology, which is crazy. Because those two things are not the same.
That's Hawkeye, and this is something totally different.
It's just not the same. You can't even compare those two things. I don't know why. When someone says no, that's offside decision was not. I'm not sure about that, and then you say, oh, it's offside or it's not. Like we know that that's not the truth. If obviously some people don't know, they haven't checked, but that is not correct. To say that the decision is always right, it's black and white, that is incorrect. And people need to do the research before they talk as if they know that it's actually the case.
Start of the season, Eric, they said that in these kind of decisions, close decisions, the benefit of the doubt would be given to the attacker right at the start of the season. And if we were giving the benefit of the doubt to the attacker, and it was that close, and it was still given as offside, I don't think Chelsea could have put the ball in the back of the net yesterday, and they would not have found a way to disallow that goal.
Yeah, I'll end with this. We know, especially with the recent events, we know what it was, with regards to that. Yeah. It was a case where Chelsea couldn't depend on the referee to help us, right? We had to just win the game no matter what was going against us. And sadly, we didn't do it, but, it was a good performance. I can't pretend like it wasn't. I don't want to talk about it because we lost, right? But, it was one of the best performances for me this season. So it's just sad that, we have nothing to show for it because there were so many players who deserved that trophy. You could even say everybody deserved that trophy, because everybody contributed in some way. But, we just didn't get what we wanted.
Question here from Daniel. Are you giving a link out, bro, or are you sticking with the main panel today? I will be giving the link out. I will be opening the stream, and I will be allowing everyone to get a chance to come on and give me their thoughts and opinions. I just got to get through a few things. So within the hour, I would say, I would open the stream and let you guys come on. I want to give the topics of the day our time and attention, and then once I open the stream, you guys can come on and you can chat in regards to any of the topics that we have discussed today. Eric, thank you for your insight. I'll go to Pod, but before I go to Pod, I want to say something. Lukaku played well yesterday, and Timo Werner changed the game when he came on. When Lukaku and Timo Werner came on, they put Liverpool under a lot of pressure. I don't know if it came. I don't know if you guys saw that on the TV. If it came across on the TV in that same way, but Lukaku gave their defense a hard time. On the ball, off the ball. Timo Werner, every time Timo Werner would get the ball, you would see Liverpool defenders straight away look back and see how they can cover the attacking lines. It was difficult for them to handle Timo Werner and Lukaku yesterday. So there were positives in that game yesterday from two players who haven't been 100% recently. So, Podfather, let me hear your thoughts on the game and how you saw it.
Yes. I think I'll start with the lineup. I was very well. Obviously, I didn't know about. I think Azpilicueta got injured. No, not Azpilicueta. Sorry. So for them, I think Thiago got injured in the warm up, which probably affected their gameplay. So it's very interesting. And then Chalobah starting. Us playing the back three. Was pretty much what I thought it'd be because I think he was looking at the previous two performances that we've had against them, and the one at the Bridge probably being our best attacking game. And obviously, if you want to win the cup, you have to win the game. So you probably model your game plan around that particular performance. Obviously, this is the third or fourth big game now where Jorginho hasn't started, so that marks a shift and a change in the dynamic. It seems like now when it comes to pretty much the big games, it's going to be Kovačić and Kante at the moment. That was interesting. I was happy to see Havertz up front. I know people were wanting Lukaku to come back in, but I didn't think that this. I just thought that it would be too much of a distraction for him to start the game, and if we're not playing well, and then all of a sudden the whole focus is on him or trying to get him in the game and stuff. So I was happy with the original lineup. So the main surprise was Ziyech not playing as well, because obviously he'd been excellent in recent weeks. Just watching the game, the tactics were very interesting because from what I saw, and I think I mentioned this in the group chat, Pulisic seemed to be the one dropping into midfield every time we were defending, and it was almost like a 4 across midfield. Everybody thought Mason would drop in and he would be the midfielder, the third midfielder to almost like match up with Liverpool. But if you look at the game, a lot of time it was Pulisic dropping into the right, Kante and cover as a 4, and then almost Alonso as a left or whatever. So it was very interesting. So it was almost like a 4 at the back and then 4 in midfield and then 2 up front every time we were defending. And I felt like that tactic didn't really work in the first half because, I just felt like after the first 15 minutes, we were getting outnumbered and they were passing around us. So I thought that was a bit of an issue. In terms of the decisions, for me, the Keita one, 100% a red card. If not red, then it's definitely yellow. And then, the elbow on Mason, I think that one is debatable because a lot of time when you're trying to fend somebody off, it happens a lot of time in football. So I think it's debatable whether you give a yellow card for that or not. The other decisions, I don't really have that much of an issue with. I think the Lukaku offside one is pretty much cleared, or it's matched up with the Van Dijk one. Which, if it was my team and I was given a foul, for what Van Dijk did to Reece James or whatever, I'd be pissed as well if it was Chelsea and that happened to us. So I just look at that as, charge it to the game type thing or whatever. Yeah, I thought we were excellent. I really enjoyed the game. I thought we played well. Everybody has to remember it was a high level opponent. It wasn't like it was games against Brighton or Leeds or whatever. So we really had to step up and really be precise with our passing and movement. I thought Havertz was brilliant. I think he created 5 chances in the game. which at that point was like a joint record, most ever in a League Cup final. Up until I think Trent created 6 in the extra time or whatever. But up until that, Havertz was having a brilliant game. His link up, his passing, all of that. I hear you, Mo, what you said about Lukaku and Werner coming on. But then I felt like that completely took Havertz out of the game. I didn't see him pretty much once those guys came on. And the game became a bit more individualistic. So like when Werner would get the ball, it wasn't like about trying to like, link or play as a team. It was more him just driving and Lukaku trying to like do things on his own. So there wasn't that much combination play, which maybe at that point what was needed because everybody else was tired. But it's interesting to see the dynamics. It just made me think that with Havertz, if he's not playing as a number 9 or false 9, then there's really no point having him, in the team. Personally, I would always want to play him in that position, either up front or like with Lukaku or by himself. In terms of Kepa at the end, obviously the Liverpool fans are going to be happy when they see Kepa coming on because they don't understand. They don't really have the knowledge of the record. They're not thinking in context. And obviously Tuchel can't come out and say in the press conference, "Oh, Mendy is terrible at penalties. That's why I put Kepa in." He's not going to say that. He's going to back his keeper and say, "Oh, there's not that much difference between them, but one is better." But we know that one is much better than the other one. So yeah, those are my
thoughts. I mean, you're spot on in regards to Timo Werner and Lukaku and how the attack changed when they came on. The attack was very much team-oriented, a good build-up, a good steady attack, trying to work the ball into the goal, if we want to call it that way. But then when Timo and Lukaku came on, direct, fast-paced attack, and spot on with the analogy in respect to the players being tired. It definitely played a big part. And Timo Werner's pace. Abdul B's asking in regards to Timo Werner. Look, I've seen Timo Werner play many times. Twice at Stamford Bridge and now once at Wembley. So I've seen him play. It's not the first time I've actually watched him live. I've seen him play, and Timo Werner's pace is crazy quick. Pulisic is fast. Timo Werner is different. He's a different type of fast. He's not only fast in the way that he runs. He's also fast in the way that he reacts. He doesn't always do the right thing. Doesn't always, react in the right way, but he reacts quickly. He accelerates quickly. It's not only that he's fast running. No, he gets to the top speed very, very quickly. So that is a massive asset. You can't understand how much he has when it comes to pace until you actually sit in the stands and watch him. And I think when Max Berti comes on, he'll tell you the same thing. And any one of you, I think Bobby's seen him also live. The man is quick. The man is very quick. So he adds that. He adds that to the game. And again, in regards to Kepa, I think Tuchel made the right decision with what he knew and what we know. Did it pan out? We don't know. I mean, maybe with Mendy, it would not have taken it all, that far. Maybe, maybe he would have saved it. Maybe, I don't know. He could have. I don't know. It's a weird one. Would have Mendy have scored? I mean, Mendy's kicking isn't that great neither. So we can't really make that judgment. And hindsight is hindsight. So, all right, let's go to Couch. Before I go to Couch, short time, Bobby, welcome to the stream. Couch, take it away.
Good evening, bro. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Couch?
Good.
Yeah, sweet.
Not really much left to say. I think you guys pretty much covered the full gamut of things. I can give you another rendition, but is it really going to change the outlook of this match? No, not really. I think that if you ask me, the game was fantastic. Played a frenetic pace for 120 minutes. Thought Chelsea had a plethora of opportunities to put this game to bed, or at least put themselves in a position where they could win the match. And it just plagues this team time and time again. When they're in the ascendancy of the match, they just don't take the opportunities that are presented to them. And I recorded a video. It's probably coming out in about 10 minutes, but it's the exact same thing I said in the video. It's just, you have to use your bright moments in the game to really impact it. You have to not just have nice, build up play, work the ball in the final third. You have to take your opportunities. That's the difference between being European elite and just being, a good squad, which is what we are right now, because we just don't take our chances. I'm at the point right now where, and it goes to both ways too, because what happens too is when you're Chelsea and you get 3 or 4 opportunities to really impact the game with a goal or or something of that sort, and you don't take them, not only does it kill your confidence and your momentum, but it also invigorates the opponent. That's exactly what happened that last game. Like, Chelsea were all over them the first 15-20 minutes, missing chances here and there. And then Liverpool grew into the match. And, that's not just with the big games. It's the small games too. You look at the Burnley game when we had so many opportunities to kill the game. We're up 1-0 and didn't take any of them. And then, they're starting to feel confident now. They're like, wow, we can actually get something out of this game right now. These guys are missing a boatload of chances. All we need is one. And then when they get that one opportunity, they take it. So for me, obviously we can get into the other aspects of the game, but the first thing that I think that Chelsea need to work on is just their ability to really take a strong hold of the match when they're in the ascendancy. We're not always going to be in those positions, but again, when we are, we have to just be better. I'm not going to call out anybody. I know we can say Pulisic, Mason, a bunch of names can be called for opportunities missed, but at the same time, it's a group effort. The entire team misses these chances always. It's not just 1 or 2 players. It's a new name every week, it seems like. As far as these decisions that went against us, I'm gonna have to disagree with Podfather. It doesn't balance out in no way, shape, or form. When Van Dijk is in an offside position and then blocks off Reece James, who's from the man he's marking, that is a foul. I'm sorry, he impeded him from actually getting to a position where he could impact the play. That's why they called it back. As far as just let me finish. I'm sure you're gonna jump on it, but let me just finish. As far as the offside goes, that's just a ridiculous call. Are you kidding me? They first of all, they measured it based on where Lukaku's armpit was versus where Virgil van Dijk's toe is, not thinking that he's also leaning forward and also his arms in an onside, be playing Lukaku onside. That didn't come into the account at all. The other thing that is also very arbitrary, and this is why I'm just completely at ends with VAR, is when you release the ball. That particular aspect is not adjudicated near as what's the word I'm looking at, as scrutinized as near as much as say where you're marking the offsides. When did Chalobah release the ball? You can look at some screenshots and you're seeing the ball. It looks like an American football, because and if that's the case, you can't really judge when the ball's being released. So then how are you saying that at this particular frame he's offside, he's onside? The whole system just needs to be overhauled altogether, and it has to start with not only that, where you're adjudicating when the ball's released, but also what are these lines? You heard Tuchel comment on, what is this line? What are you showing me here? I don't need a protractor in my geometry set to show me that that's not even close to accurate. You know what I mean? What's going on here? And that's where my main hang up is the fact that they can just throw this bullshit calls, excuse my language, down your throat and expect you to just take it. Here you go. He was offside. This is it. There's no who's adjudicating these things, and what is it that you can see that's telling you that he's offside and he's onside? Because based on the lines that were drawn, nobody knows. Absolutely nobody.
I'll just put on the screen there for you. What Catch is talking about, and if you look at the arms, I mean, the whole body, not just his arm. Yeah. mean, and also the angle, because I can't see if you can see it on the screen better, but there is actually a different shade of grass right in front of them. Okay, if you look at the two shades of grass, and you look at the line coming down the pitch, I'm going to actually see if I can. Can you guys see the cursor on the screen? Can you see my cursor?
We've all seen it, but yeah, I agree with you. Like the cut of the grass, you can see
look
where Lukaku
at this line here. Look at this line here. Look at this line here on the screen. If you can see my cursor, and then you look at this line. All right, they're not at the same angle. This one is moving in further. I mean, if you look at how far they are from the back, from the front.
But
so
Mo,
yeah.
Mo, isn't that as a result of the camera angle? So the lines.
Isn't that part of the problem then? Isn't that part of the problem?
That's a major part of the problem.
But listen, the VAR people do not use the same line you see on Sky.
So why are they not giving us the exact same look? Why are they
show us exactly what they're seeing?
No, it doesn't.
Exactly what they're seeing.
They have listen. When you watch the behind the scenes thing, they have multiple lines and multiple angles and the way different. When you get that graphic,
why are they not giving us that then?
When you get that graphic onside, offside on Sky, that's Sky's graphic. Yeah, that's not what.
Why are we not being privy to what you're just talking about right there? Why are they showing us?
I understand. It's not a perfect system, but I'm just saying that when we're looking at this. No, but listen, you remember what offsides were before VAR? Somebody could be 5 yards offside and will be called on because the linesman didn't see it.
You can guarantee that it's not getting any better. I can guarantee.
No, it's much better. I can show you. I can show you offsides that goals that Man United have scored against us, where Rooney was like five yards offside and was called onside because the referee didn't see it. It's way better. Yeah, obviously you're going to get a chance to go for you, to go against you. 100%.
Pod, what's the point of offside?
Hold on. Yeah. Listen, I want to bring in Bobby and Showtime before we get into this discussion. I'll let Couch finish off his statement, and then I'll go to Bobby and Showtime. We'll discuss this. I guarantee you, we're going to have this discussion. Keep your thoughts. Just 1 second. Just 1 second, Couch. Just 1 second. In respect to the whole VAR thing and offsides, fouls, whatever, VAR has come in to take away what's the word here? The misjudgment that referees have. Sometimes referees don't see things. Sometimes referees judge things based on things that are not factual. So VAR has come in to give them facts, and that is what Pod is leaning towards. And I understand that, but at the same time, is that image that we're seeing on the screen the fact? Because I agree with Couch, it isn't the fact. Because when do we take the picture? How far after that ball has been hit? Is it the moment the player connects with the ball, or the moment the ball leaves his foot? And where is that image in conjunction with the image that we're seeing in respect to it being offside? That's one. Number two, what is the line? What is the line? Because it comes to angles here. It comes to angles. Okay, it's got to be a straight line at 90 degrees from one part of the pitch to the next. But how do we know that image on the screen is actually accurate? Because for it to be accurate, it's got to be taken away from human interpretation or interference. And at the other end of that VAR booth, there is a geezer out there. And sometimes it's Anthony Taylor. Sometimes it's Anthony Taylor on the other side, and he's the one drawing these lines. So show me what is the basis you're going on. I'm a fan. I'm a player. I'm a manager. This trophy means something to me. So before you take it away from me and tell me that VAR decision was right, show me what is it based on. And at the same time, I want, and if you're gonna be fair about it, I want VAR to be accountable and to be to be based or to be used in judgment. I.e., that decision, if it turns out to be false, then that match, that result, needs to be reevaluated. Because you're taking away a cup, a tournament. You're taking away prize money. You're taking away a title from a team. You're gonna take it away, base it on facts, like Podfather you're claiming these are, And if they are, then show me the criteria. I'll come back to you. Sit tight. I'll come back to you. We're going to discuss this. Let me give Couch the rest of his time. We'll go to Bobby in a short time, and then we'll discuss this because this is what the stream is about. Let's discuss this. So, Couch, take it away, brother.
No, you're bang on, Mo. Bang on, and I'm glad you had that interjection because that's basically my sentiments exactly. But beyond that, I just hate the fact that this game is ruined by refereeing decisions because. Let's be honest, over the 120 minutes, that was a fantastic game. Up and down, like everyone was involved. And I don't think that, well, maybe Conte didn't have his best game, but like we had a lot of really good performances that were just smeared by these poor refereeing decisions. And that's the major takeaways for me. It was a fantastic game. And we've shown basically we can mix it with European elite right now. We're at that level. It's just the only thing that's separating us right now is the fact that we're not clinical enough. We just can't finish opportunities. You know, we get into these incredible areas on the pitch and we just can't finish. But in terms of like European standard, and when we get back into the Champions League again and we have actually proper referees again, it's no coincidence to me that like we haven't won a cup in England in the last 4 tries versus the 4 that we've won in Europe. The standard of refereeing is completely different. Like, let's be honest here. So yeah, I can't wait for us to get back in Europe right now. If we can play with that same sort of intensity and endeavor and commitment that we did yesterday, then yeah, we could still win the Champions League again. We have a squad that can do it. Just take our opportunities. That's all that is separating us right now. That's where I'm going to leave it.
Spawn. And to answer this question here by Fazor, what Couch literally just said is my answer to your question because I agree with him 110%. So good question, and Couch, you answered it, mate. Fantastic. Bobby Smoke Signals, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing well, my brother. Give me your evaluation of the game yesterday, the decisions, the performance. Let me hear it. Welcome.
Wow. Sorry, guys. I'm on a mobile device, and I'm just coming back from work. So forgive me if I survive this little section. I might have to log out and log back in on another device. Listen, Good evening, champions.
Good evening.
Because that's what you are, champions. You know, Chelsea Football Club is one of the most formidable teams on this planet. We are champions. We played like champions. Weeks before this game, or I exaggerate, days before this game, the media and their friends to Liverpool started on a campaign to demoralize, destabilize, and completely get into the heads of Chelsea and their players. Mind control, that's a very standard thing in propaganda politics that we live in this world right now. They tried that. The officials, as usual, were against Chelsea. I cannot and will not ever understand why Lukaku's goal was cancelled, or indeed why Naby Keita was still left on the field of play. Had that been Chelsea, both things would have been awarded against us. There were various other things in that game, but you know, it's not worth mentioning. Those two were absolutely blatant, and you know they contributed. Now, funnily enough, we're such a good team. After having gone through so many things, injuries, we still had players coming back from injuries yesterday. After having gone through so many things, I had a good opportunity to look at what we're about. Unfortunately, what cost us yesterday wasn't the penalty kicks. The penalty kicks was perhaps the most credible part of the game from the officiating side and indeed from the performance of both teams. It was us and the fact that we don't put our chances away. You know, I have tweeted a lot that had it been Lukaku missing the chances that Mason Mount missed, and I'm not going to let him off the hook. I'm going to go on about this for a while. I don't hate Mason, but he's got to buckle up. If he wants to be the player we call him, then he's got to be scoring goals, full stop. And what the chances he missed yesterday was unacceptable, because had that been Lukaku, this place would be ablaze now. We'll be trashing him like crazy. And that's Mount's misses. Not to mention the miss by Pulisic and the one by Havertz. Unacceptable. However, Pulisic, Havertz are young. Mount is 23. So after this season, next season, if he's not putting things away, we're on his case. Big time. That's what cost us. Another thing that costs us, which is glaring, is the midfield. God bless him, N'Golo Kante. I love him to bits. He's one of the best midfielders you can ever possibly dream of. But the guy can't shoot. Neither can Kovačić. They're getting into shooting positions and they're looking to keep dribbling and passing the ball into the net because they can't shoot. That's part of our problem. We would be suicidal to mess with our defense. Our defense is immaculate, and God knows what we're going to do after next season when Thiago Silva leaves. But our midfield does need additions. Our strike force, I'm quite happy. We've got, just as Mo mentioned earlier, we've got a mixture of things. I think it was even Couch that pointed out that, look, let's keep it real. Lukaku probably at the pace and the ferocity of the Premier League can't play 90 minutes. So let's get the best minutes out of him. And yesterday he had the best minutes out of himself because he had the engine to give us the best performance. I think he played very well. But, you know, the fact that we've got Timo Werner's pace, we've got Lukaku's bullishness in front, we've got the mobility of Havertz and Pulisic and Mount. We just have to find a way to get these guys to put this thing away. It is so frustrating. And all we're doing is praying, because I tell you what, brothers, if these guys start scoring, nobody can touch us, including Man City. We are the best. Truly, we are the best team out there. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, Bobby, you touched up on something that, that a lot of people were speaking about yesterday at Wembley Stadium. The fact that we have been targeted by the media, that we will be targeted by the officials on that page. And, a lot of people were not happy about that. This geezer here, this legend, Gov, and Josh, we were sitting down and watching the game together. And, we said, look, if Chelsea were to score another goal, we're not going to celebrate, because we celebrated too many times and all we saw was, the officials turn around and, have this VAR decision and have this little chit-chat. And at the end of the day, the decision went against us again and again and again and again. So there was a lot about that, a lot of this mind games, a lot of this propaganda against Chelsea, on top of everything that else happened. And we still took it to the very last kick of the game, and it could have literally gone either way. And I want to say this, and I know there's a lot of Liverpool fans currently in my stream, and they're bantering and they're chatting. But listen, Liverpool gave a good account of themselves yesterday. It was a good football match. Now, if they made a mistake and that mistake wasn't punished by the referee, that's not on Liverpool. That's on the officials. But it was a very good game by two very, very good teams. And again, it was decided by one kick. So, like I said, congratulations to Liverpool for being the Carabao Cup champions. Big up to you, and enjoy the trophy. And again, I'm addressing the world and European champions when I say, hard luck. We move. Showtime. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Let me hear your thoughts.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, all my brothers and sisters watching, and in the panel as well, my brothers.
Big up.
Big up to all of you guys, man. I mean, yesterday, a lovely match, I must say. I know you guys in the stadium watching had enjoyed the match. despite the VAR rulings and officiating that we having problems with. The funniest thing about what you're saying about the social propaganda against us, look at Roman Abramovich now helping the Ukrainians. You don't see the media bigging that up or talking about it or in the major news streams. It shows a clear bias against this wonderful club and our wonderful owner. It just shows it. It's proven. But let's get back to the match.
Short time. I'm getting an echo. Short time. I'm not sure if you're watching it on YouTube or whatever, but every time you talk, there's an echo when I'm talking. Oh, he's gone. I was going to tell Showtime that this is a topic we are going to address because for those of you who are currently watching the stream and didn't get my introduction to the stream, we're going to be addressing the game as we are doing now. After the game, we're going to be addressing what Roman Abramovich is actually doing to try to help resolve or to ease the suffering of the people in Ukraine, because that is something we should be also talking about. And we're also going to be talking about the issue with the board of trustees and the two members who may be stepping down and why that might be happening. So if you're just joining the stream, we're going to be addressing Abramovich and his initiative in Ukraine, and we'll also be addressing the board of trustees after we conclude the match reaction. So Showtime, he addressed this. So I wanted to remind you guys we are going to be addressing it in due course. Continue, Showtime.
You hear me clearly now, or still echo?
It echoes when I talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. But in regards to the match, though, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I mean, like, I second what everyone is saying here. The finishing is just a problem. When we're in front of goals, like, we freeze up and don't actually know how to put the ball in the back of the net. I don't want to speak on individuals and their performances. We all know some of our attackers didn't have the great performance, and I can go on and on, feel me? I always defend Lukaku and then all this other stuff, but I'm not here to do that today. I'm just
No. Listen, your boy played well yesterday. Lukaku played well yesterday, and he scored a fantastic goal. He controlled it well. He drove with it, and he slotted it in a very, very positive, assertive, technically sound manner. There was nothing wrong with that Lukaku goal. Unfortunately, it was disallowed. It was a good goal, though.
Yeah, you're right. It was a great goal, but look, at the end, that would have brought his redemption tour back for the love of the fans. It would have had some little spice into his cheering, But despite all of that, we played a good game. It shows that the manager that we have knows how to light a fire into the dressing room and bring the energy when it's said to be needed. He is a great manager. I mean, his tactics was so great yesterday. Just in the opening minutes alone, it showed our excellence of what they prepared for this whole week. But it's just the finishing is the problem. And for me, it's more so, how are we going to be able to finish this game off? We had a chance to put this game away early, and we didn't take the chances that we needed to take to finish this game. I mean, VAR had an effect on the match, but before VAR's decisions, we had goals that would have went in and we would have been up. We can't only blame VAR here. We can't blame officiate. We also have to blame our players. But we played a good game, though. I'm not angry. I'm just upset that we didn't win, because I wanted to take it to those Salah and Mane FC fans, knowing that they only have Salah and Mane, to prove to them that we are the best, that we can compete with you guys, despite the injuries that we've had, So it's all up to us. I mean, I think we'll go far. This is just the beginning. Like you said, we move. This is just one hiccup.
Sweet. Cheers, Shadow. Showtime. Sorry. Cheers, Showtime. Who's that that Portuguese player they bought? Is it Diaz something?
Yeah,
Colombian. Yes.
Is he Colombian? Colombian. He played in Portugal.
He was a Porto.
He was substituted. And that was the only time I actually noticed he was on the pitch when he was getting taken off.
He was really good. He was really good. I'll say that. He was in Porto. From what I saw,
he was good
in the game. In the game?
Yeah.
No. No, In the game for me, it was Mane, it was Trent, and it was Mo Salah. They were the ones that were more threatening, more dangerous.
Did you say Salah?
Yeah, Salah.
Nah, Salah was
in somebody's back pocket, man. I don't want to say the name, but
Alonso handled him. But he was pressing hard. He was what's the word here? He was taking a lot of the attention of the defenders. Alonso, Rudiger had to actually play extra or pay extra attention to him to keep him quiet. He was doing bits. The question is in regards to what Showtime was addressing, the finishing. Havertz miss, Pulisic miss, Mount's hit off the post. Do you guys think they were the reasons why we lost that game, or do you guys think it's the other reasons that we're blaming? We're blaming VAR, we're blaming decisions, we're blaming media. What is the real reason? Why did Chelsea not win that game yesterday?
We missed our chances. We're always going to have officials against us. That's why when we have chances, we have to score. If we'd scored those chances, we'd have won that game.
I think it's one of the reasons, but at the same time, Liverpool missed their chances as well. Salah had an open goal and completely fluffed his line. Mane, he could have roofed that ball into the net, and it doesn't matter what Mendy does. That's a goal. So I think a goal that early in the game is no guarantee that we win, but it definitely changes the course of the game, and who knows what can happen. But it's not like, last minute, he had the chance, and if he scores, there's almost no time left for the other team to equalize or whatever. So I think it definitely is part of it, but I can't say 100% we would have won the game if we scored, because we scored early in cup finals before and lost, so it doesn't guarantee that you win the match, but it does change the course of how the game goes.
We missed 4 gilt-edged chances, better chances than Liverpool had.
I don't know. Mo Salah goes round the goal.
A lot of people. So one second, pod. A lot of people here, in the chat and also on social media, have been putting the blame on the chance that Mason Mount finished or didn't finish. The attempt that hit the post. Now, that is being used to say that Mason Mount isn't playing so great, isn't performing so great. We need to put a little bit more pressure. We need to address this. And also, Bobby made a statement in saying that Mason Mount needs to turn that corner now because he's no longer one of the youngsters. He's about to hit 24, and he's going to be, one of the mature players in the team, a player that we need to be depending on, relying on, rather than a player that we look at as having potential. He needs to realize that potential. He needs to be a more productive player. I want to say this about Mason Mount because I want to give my take on Mason Mount. Mason Mount is a player for me who has done a lot in regards to proving that he is a player that can be utilized in our system in multiple positions, in given multiple tasks to perform, and he can do it well. But at the same time, I think the fact that he has been utilized in all of these different positions, all of these different areas, he hasn't been able to call one position or one role his own and build on that and flourish in that and become known for that. Is Mason Mount a left winger? Is he a right winger? Is he an attacking midfielder? Is he a central midfielder? Is he a false 9? What is he? Because he's doing all of these roles in different games, in different situations. And I think that is part of the problem why Mason Mount is not performing, because Mason Mount doesn't have a specific role that he trains for and that he focuses on.
No,
however,
can I differ to you with this?
Sorry, Bobby, just 1 second. I'm going to use the analogy and people who play cricket will be able to relate to this. Mason Mount has become the all-rounder of Chelsea Football Club. He's neither a batsman nor a bowler, but he can do it. He can do both jobs quite well. If he was a batsman, he'd be getting 50s and centuries. If he was a bowler, he'd be getting 4 or 5 wickets a game. Instead, he's getting 30, 40 runs, and he's getting 1 or 2 wickets because of the positions he's been made to play. And for those of you who don't play cricket, I apologize, but it's hard to explain. Bobby, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I disagree. Mason's. I understand your analogy, and it has its context in that he's not really a master of anything on the pitch other than pressing. That is his game, hustling, and to be fair to him, when we have offensive play, getting into good positions like he did yesterday. All these things you're saying has nothing to do with why he didn't finish those chances. N'Golo Kante would have finished those chances if he had gotten into those positions. He is not yet sharp in terms of goal scoring. He's had this in his as a deficiency for quite some time. Now, his get out of jail card is his age, but believe me, he really needs to rectify that quick, because if Conor Gallagher, when Conor Gallagher comes to Chelsea and puts in some performances, he will be able to bench Mason Mount, because Conor scores goals that Mason doesn't. So Mason needs to start to score goals. I remember Frank Lampard at 23. He was putting them away with consummate ease. Mason does silly things. I don't think whether his head isn't right. I don't know. When in front of goal, but like the one he hit the post. People could say, "Oh, unlucky, he hit the post," but he angled the ball too much. He could have been more direct with the ball. Maybe that's splitting hairs. I don't know. But for a quality player, that's not good enough. So if he plays multiple positions, some people make that their specialty, to be able to play everywhere. Utility players. What was his name? This guy played for Spurs, played for Real Madrid.
Van der Vaart.
Is it Van
der Vaart plays for Van der Vaart. Yeah, Van der Vaart. Yeah. Dutch player.
Yeah, Van der Vaart. He's like a James Milner.
He did that.
Yeah.
The other one, that played for Inter. All these Dutch guys, their names just have gone out of my head.
Schneider.
Schneider. Yeah. Schneider. Yeah. He was good at doing that. He was very good at doing that. Yeah.
And all of them were experts at finishing. Now, I'm not saying Mason can't get there. I'm pretty sure he can, because we love Mason. I still love Mason. I'll still play him tomorrow. But the fact is, I think he deserves a bit of a caning for those misses, because they cost us. I really believe that. I believe had he scored one of those two, and either Havertz or Pulisic put away theirs, Havertz, he had a little bit more to do. Pulisic, another one, no excuse. That was a pathetic attempt. Now, either of those scored one and would have been 2 up. And believe me, Liverpool may not have come back from that. We can't say, hindsight is a good thing. We can't say for sure because it hasn't happened. But I have a very strong feeling. Had we scored, we would have won.
All right. Anybody else want to add anything to this? I know Pod and Couch were having a go at the VAR thing. Do you want to address that before we move to the second topic?
Before you address that, I just wanted to say I agree with what Bobby said, and I think the main reason we didn't win was because of the missed chances. Yes, Liverpool had chances, but like Bobby said, we had the better chances. We had 3-4 clear-cut chances, and if we took them, I don't think Liverpool had that many. So I think we would have won the game.
Liverpool Liverpool were playing very aggressive football, and I think they were lucky. They were lucky because I think it was Bobby who also mentioned it. It was Couch. Literally, the first 15 minutes, they did not know what was hitting them. And Chelsea should have put the game to bed then. And I think finishing and all of this debate about the decisions and whatnot, we wouldn't be having it right now had we been able to finish the first, a couple of chances in the first 15 minutes. But yeah, let me hand over to Podfather and Couch in regards to the VAR aspect of the game, and let's put that to bed before we move on to the next topic.
Okay, I was going to say a quick thing about Mason. Just so we don't have to round back on this topic or whatever. It's a bit unfortunate that he's played in that position for a year now, so I expect him to know that position. So even though we say he's been moved up and down, he hasn't really. He's played in that since Tuchel has come. He's pretty much been in that front three, for a year now. So I'm not going to give him the same sort of. It's not like Hudson-Odoi being moved to left wing back, then right wing back, then left wing, then right wing. So I expect him to be a bit better at the position at this point in time, just in terms of experience. But yeah, it's more of a modern footballer thing that they expect you to play in different positions. So. It's tough, but I expect him to come good. I think he has all the raw materials. In terms of the VAR thing, what I was saying earlier was in terms of like the lines that I was saying. I was saying that one, from what I've seen when they've done, I think they did a BBC documentary on VAR. We don't tend to always they use different lines there's multiple lines all across the field. And then they somehow pick the offside. They don't always show you the angles that we get. Saying stadiums have different angles, so yeah, it's not a precise thing. So it's not. I never said it was like a factual thing. It's just meant to limit error as much as they can. And I know everybody has short memories, but I remembered offsides before we had VAR, and they were horrendous. Every week we were talking about that goal was onside, it wasn't onside, it was offside, it was this, it was that. Every week. Now, yeah, we debate the technology and how it's used, but we pretty much I think we get most of the decisions way more than what we used to 2-3 seasons ago before we had VAR. It's not a perfect system. Technology is going to improve as time goes on, all of that. So that's something we need to keep in mind. Some people have said his arm, he can't score with his arm. I think they changed the rule at the beginning of this season, saying that if it's anything above the elbow, so just at the base of the sleeve. I think I sent you the rule change, Mo, on your Twitter. If it's anything above the sleeve, then that's considered offside. Even though you can't score with your arm, but you can play the ball with your shoulder or whatever. So that was the rule change. So obviously some people were saying, "Oh, you can't score with your arm. Why is that offside?" So that in particular, but just.
I understand that, but then one second. If that is the case, then shouldn't the line be drawn from where the arm is?
Yes, but I think it's different rules for the attacker and the defender. So sorry,
how are you going to adjudicate one person differently from the other? Like, it makes
but it's because I don't know the exact reason, but I'm saying that
is more. Can the defender defend with his shoulder? Can he defend it with his shoulder?
Yes.
Okay,
if the ball hits his shoulder, it's not a handball.
Right. So if he uses his shoulder to make a defensive action, is it a handball?
If he moves his arm to it.
No, it's not a handball. Let's be honest. Okay, it's not a handball. So that's why you have to use that point as the marker for him, because he can use that to make a defensive action.
No, Couch, I agree with you, but then it also goes to our benefit when the situation is reversed.
But
so I'm just saying
that's going to our benefit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Every time these decisions go against Chelsea.
Okay. So Couch, let me give you an example. Yeah, so VAR, one, you're supposed to look at particular incidents. Yeah, so the Van Dijk one, they were looking at offside. They weren't looking at a foul. Then they saw a foul in it. Then that foul was flagged up, but they weren't actually looking for a foul. So if you look at when the goal happens, none of our players are protesting. Yeah, Reece is not saying, "Oh, he held me back, and that's why I didn't get the ball." It's
You're talking about a different incident now, right?
Sorry,
you're talking about a completely different incident now, right?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that I'm just thinking about how VAR is used and how sometimes it benefits us, sometimes it doesn't. But I don't.
That wasn't that was an egregious like blocking off. Of course, they're going to judge that.
No, it wasn't because
when you're talking about like what is offside and what is onside, and where you're drawing these lines and what is supposed to be used to adjudicate what is offside and onside, that is completely different from a guy lining up in an offside position and then using his arm to block him off from getting to a man that he's supposed to be marking. Can we agree that that is a different scenario altogether?
No,
if you're going to draw scenarios where they're similar, then show me where a Liverpool player was his elbow was offside, but
I'm saying that every time a corner is played, and they're looking for a free kick and they're looking for an offside, there's a foul in almost every time a corner is played. Now, if they want to pick out a penalty or a foul, everything
they lined up in an offside position and then fouled. He was offside to begin with.
I know, but they were checking the offside. They weren't checking the foul.
What's the point of the offside law? What does it mean?
It's to stop the. Well, it depends on how you look at it, but I look at it as to stop the attacker from just standing offside.
Okay,
so Potfather, don't you really can do better than this? Can we get better than this?
Yeah, so that's the point. So
my point is this: we watching 100 meter in the Olympics. Did you see how they measure the difference between the first and the second? Like the camera that is taking the picture is perpendicular to the action all the time. Just look from where the picture is taken. Those lines were drawn like face. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, can you just
and there's also like clear markings on the road on the ground that you can use.
Yeah, but in 100 meters, in 100 meters.
I'm not going to do this. The thing is, more you talking, more this thing is not going to be improved. Like, you just need to stop talking at this. But what happened yesterday was crazy.
No, but Boogie,
we were robbed. It's simple as that.
In the 100 meters, the rules are clear. Yeah, of how they
judge. Have the best technology in 100 meters. Why don't you just use it for your soccer?
No. It's the rule. You're not understanding. Let's say this was last year. He'd be onside. The rule changed. The technology didn't change. If this was last year,
what's the definition of offside?
Hold on. One thing that was addressed at the start of this season, I believe. Hold on 1 second. Do I have somebody in the back area?
Yeah, what was addressed was the fact that
what was addressed is this:
the goal scorer.
Exactly, advantage with the attacker, not the defender. So you have to give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker, and they did not do that.
That's if they felt they had doubts. That's down to interpretation. That's down to the referee.
Wait. There was no doubt there. There was no doubt there.
You couldn't see the difference between
I'm just saying the things you're quoting are living up to the interpretation of the referee. So it's not like 100% it had to be this or had to be that. That's down to whatever ref you have on the day.
That's what technology is about. That's what technology is about.
Therein lies the problem.
If you cannot, if everything has to be led to interpretation of the ref, then the technology is not working. Then, like imagine 100 meter at the Olympic, and it has to be someone sitting somewhere and say, "Okay, I think this guy is winning." Imagine that. It doesn't work.
You watch the NFL and how their cameras are so.
I don't get it, Father. Like, I understand. Money. For the sake of argument, you can argue this, but that's we cannot be doing this. This needs to stop. Because frustration is just getting high. This cup, we won this cup. We deserve to win this cup. What happened? What happened to us yesterday? Yeah. It's a shame.
I had a different.
I want to say welcome to Boogeyman to the stream, and welcome to Max Burton to the stream. Boogeyman didn't even wait for me to say hello. He just jumped straight in and started chatting.
I'm hearing from Boogeyman in the group chat since yesterday. Don't worry. We've heard his flames and his fire.
I was being polite and waiting to be introduced before I started talking, so I didn't know Boogeyman just came on and just.
He did literally straight away, man. Straight out of the gates.
Boogeyman,
to Boogeyman. Big up to Max Byrne. Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone.
Talking, man. Yeah, nice seeing you again.
Quickly. Yes, Max, man. Big up, man. I'm glad you guys were able to go to the game together, dude. That looked great. But
fantastic.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good day.
It was brilliant. It was
brilliant. I kind of want to touch on this like offside thing again because like if you look at any other major sport in the world right now, like and they have video replay, the angles and the scrutiny that all these decisions are put under is so much higher than it is at in football in the EPL in particular. And I just don't understand. Like this is a multi-billion-dollar.
Open the door to the corruption.
Exactly. Can I jump in? Can I jump in? It's not the technology; it's the people running the technology. That is the problem. Okay, right. Let's forget the Chelsea game for instance. Let's take a bigger injustice this weekend, which affects both ends of the table. I don't care if it's Liverpool affected. I don't care by that anyway. But Everton could go down because of this thing. The handball by Rodri, was it Rodri? That was a clear handball. And what happened? There's two angles for it. One was clear and obvious that it was handball. There was another angle which was obscured. It wasn't a clear angle. So I think I was watching the guy who does Ref Watch on Sky Sports today. What's his name? The Ref Watch guy.
Dermot Gallagher.
Yeah, it's Dermot Gallagher. Yeah. So what he was saying is that because the referee or the person who was running the VAR had seen that first still. That was the one he had in his mind, the one which was unclear. When he saw it from a different angle, which was clearly handball, he was still had that other vision stuck in his mind. So he went with that one, which is ridiculous for me. And so yesterday, as I said, can he score with that part of the body? Had he touched it with his bicep or whatever it was that he was offside by? Had he touched it and the ball with that and then went on to score, and VAR looked at it, would they have allowed it? No, because it was below the roll of the sleeve, and if it's below the roll of the sleeve, they can't give it. So how are they drawing up these lines as well? So how are they drawing the line on his bicep, but not on Van Dijk's? They did it from Van Dijk's foot. They did it from Van Dijk. So if
I'm the only one seeing that. What the hell is
you're not the only one seeing that. I was the one that basically said the exact same thing.
You're not the only one, Boogie. You're not the only one.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're
listen, Boogie. Sorry, Max. Listen, unless you're a Liverpool fan. Only two people will look at that and tell you he was offside. Only two. The referee and Podfather. Everyone else is the other way around. I just got to say that.
I like Podfather. Someone need to hold that part of the argument. But come on, man.
No, look, guys. I think we're okay. The point I was trying to make before was, by the way, it's not just Pod. Some Chelsea fans actually thought that was I saw
really
one. Yeah, I saw one. Yeah, I'm not going to mention it.
Hold on. If you're gonna listen, I'm gonna say this out. I'm gonna say this out loud. Yeah, if you're gonna say a Chelsea fan and thought he was offside, we have to say before you say Chelsea fan, you say alleged Chelsea fan. An alleged Chelsea fan
that is
saw that
correct.
And said he was
because said Chelsea, so-called Chelsea fan supports another team as well, right? He's one of those two team people.
I don't think using those is not good, man.
Eric, no, if everyone supports two teams, I'm sorry.
Eric,
I haven't even made my point.
Yeah, so I know. I think it's going on to your point. Was Van Dijk's hand ahead of his leg, ahead of his foot?
That's what they want.
That's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm looking at it. I don't know. I'm looking at his foot.
Honestly, Podfather.
I don't know.
Can you run? Do you know how to run?
Yes.
How do you run? Your hand is in front of you.
Yes, but it depends on in your stride when the picture is taken. I'm just looking at the picture. I'm looking at the bottom of his foot. And listen, the whole point of this is this. The angle that they showed us on TV, it is impossible for us to tell the angle was bad. The angle was like that, kid. I agree. They shouldn't have used that angle.
Look at the blade of the grass. All you have to do is you don't have to look at it. The grass is cut. Look at the cut of the grass.
I showed that.
You don't need lines to look at that.
Podfather's like that one kid that when his parents tell him that the tooth fairy no longer exists, he still puts a penny under his pillow just in case.
Hey, listen, take it easy on the man then.
These guys, I mean, these guys are as corrupt as much.
That's all they're doing. They
just accept it. That's the real world, bro.
I can't.
This need to stop though. Like, come
entertain your line. I can't entertain the idea that they might have.
One is okay.
They refuse to show. If it was on,
is Podfather saying that referees are not corrupt in this country?
No. He's just saying the decision doesn't look too conclusive. I'm gonna put on the screen, guys. If anybody has a better image than this, look, wait. People in the chat. If you have a better image than the one I'm going to show on the screen, feel free to DM me, and I'll bring it up on the screen because this is the one I got. This is the one I got. If you got a better image, I mean, if you look at the, it's not even the shoulder; it's below the shoulder. It's literally just above the elbow.
How can you look at that image and say that he's offside? I just don't understand.
No, but that's one image. That's my point. And
but to your point, why aren't there other images? Why do we have only one image?
All right, listen. I'm going to say something. Look at this. Yeah, this is the ball. Yeah, he literally hasn't even made contact yet. There's a bit of gap. Listen, we can make a million excuses for this because when is it? Is it when he makes contact or when the ball leaves his foot? Because as far as I'm concerned, that ball it hasn't. It's still touching his foot. It's still touching. So that line is drawn prematurely, right?
Look, it's not.
We can make a million.
That's what I've been saying.
You cannot do this like. You can't do it like this.
They put the focus so much on where these lines are drawn, and nobody's actually even adjudicating when the ball was released. Like that is part of the adjudication.
The ball hasn't been released. The ball hasn't been released. The ball hasn't been released. And this is what Max Burton's talking about. Look. See this? This is the blade of grass. Yeah. Look at this. Look at the line. They are not parallel. So that line is not 90 degrees, or the grass is cut wrong. So I don't know which one it is.
Can I say my point quick? You see where the picture is taken from. Normally, the camera should be lined on those two lines. That's the only way we know.
I'm gonna say something. Yeah, wait, Bobby. Max, let me show you guys something. Can you see these seats over here? Can you see these seats? Yeah. Can you see this? Can you see this? This walkway over here?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, all of these seats are at 90 degrees. And look at this line. Look at this line, yeah? This line is nothing like this line here. These two lines are not the same. They're not parallel. So, look, I mean, this is engineering. This is Wembley Stadium. It wasn't built by dodgy rulers, man. These engineers that had proper straight rulers, yeah? When they cut these angles on this line, boy, it's not the same. This line is going way to the right.
Look, I still haven't made my points, by the way.
Then I will just shut up for that. Father, just look at Van Dijk fit. So that's the guy that is taken off. You run on the football pitch before. Do you think those hands are behind those feet, the toes? Do you in any possibility just think about it?
The laws of physics doesn't.
Look at the torso. How the torso is for Van Dijk. Do you think there is any chance on earth that hand is behind that toe? It's just not possible. The only way for you to suggest that is because the person taking this picture is completely in front of both players. You should never be in front of some. If I'm the one deciding which car in racing, which car is winning, I'm not gonna stand in front of both cars. I'll be on the side looking at the line and just.
But Boogie, that's.
I'm gonna use Boogeyman's analogy of a 100-meter race. Yeah, had these two guys been running racing, and that was the finish line. Who's won? Tell me who's won. Would we say Lukaku beat Van Dijk? Looking at that picture.
No. But that's my point. You wouldn't use this image in a 100-meter race because
why not?
It wouldn't be possible to use this image to know exactly who had won.
No, but why not?
Because there's not an accurate representation of who is in front of who.
So the ruling isn't accurate then. So you can't call it offside.
No,
that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense what you're saying, Pod.
No, I'm saying in terms of the 100 meters, the camera angle when they're going across the line It's perfect. It's right there. It's right across the line. I'm saying this image is impossible for me 100% to say who.
Then why
was
are they
ahead
using
of
it
who.
here?
So you give the
why are they
benefit. If
using
that's
it
the
here?
case, you give benefit of the doubt to the attackers. Always said that.
That's what they always say, but that has almost never happened in my thing of watching football. It almost never happened.
Guys, can I show you something? Can I share my screen?
Always goes with the defender.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me share and show you something.
As far as I'm aware of these things, I don't think, for my points, I agree with everything everybody said, obviously except Pod. But the way I see it, the whole point of this offside thing was to prevent goal hanging, right? So for things like this, you have to, like everybody keeps saying, you have to give the benefit of the doubt to the attacking player. For me, it's an absolute joke when they draw the lines, and we can't trust the technology. Sorry, we can't trust.
Can you see my screen, guys?
Eric,
can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Right, look at that one. That one was given. That one was given onside.
Yeah, I mean,
what's the difference? What is the
what's
difference between that one and the one that we saw for
Manchester United, man.
Exactly.
Manchester United.
I could have easily said his shoulder is ahead of the
Wait, but
that was given onside.
That one is a much better picture at a much better angle, is it not? Than ours that we were given.
That's true.
This is along the line, straight from the side, the same view a linesman would have. That wasn't the view we were given.
The decision was different, though. The decision was different. Ours was offside. Theirs was onside.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that we had a worse angle to determine whether it was offside or not. This is actually
so what? And the other thing is, okay, they took 20 seconds to make that decision. When the Liverpool decision, look how long that took. That took over 2 minutes. With our one, they decided that over 20 seconds. So obviously they weren't doing everything possible to draw the lines accurately. They just made up a couple of lines and thought, yeah, that's it. We'll go with those.
So this is too much for me, anyways. Yes. What? And did you guys mention the assault on Chalobah already?
No. We're talking about VAR in general. VAR in general, mate. Listen, Chalobah had 7 stitches. 7 stitches. Studs.
I don't
Listen. I'm gonna use this phrase, yeah, and it's been used. It's gonna be used for the second time against a Chelsea player. Studs to the groin.
Yes.
Last time it happened to Batshuayi by what's his name?
Maguire.
Man United. Yeah, Maguire.
Yeah.
Right. Listen,
you know, half these Chelsea players ain't gonna be able to have children, man. But
you know what I mean. They're trying to kill us by stopping us from reproducing.
You know what they should do? They should they should allow for the inflicted player to demonstrate on the referee how severe the tactic was by doing it on them. So
on them, and then tell me if it's worthy of a card.
But you know what? You know what as well?
The referee whether or not it's a red card foul.
Yeah. Listen, there's 2 telltale signs with that one. First of all, you should look at the reaction of Navigator. Navigator wasn't even injured. He knew if he went down, rolling around, thinking that he was injured in the impact. Then he thought, you know what, a yellow or a red is coming. So let me feign injury. Because that guy wasn't touched. So how was he rolling around on the ground pretending that
he should have been given a yellow for simulation, and then should have been given another yellow.
They should look at him. But
yeah, straight
also,
red. Yeah.
A lot of people.
I would go further. I would go further, and I'd go with what Barry Burton is saying. He should be getting a ban for this. Because we got to stop this, man. We got to stop this.
Exactly.
Go on, Max.
He knew what he's doing.
Max.
As I said, all the pros, even when you have Liverpool, Jamie Carragher, of all people, Jamie Carragher saying the more he sees it, the worse it looks. You know, the guy, Jimmy Foydaffers, he's played football, okay? So he knows, he used to know how to put in a tackle now and again. He was a bit nasty now and again. But he said the guy slowed down, which he did. He stopped in his track because he knew that both of them were coming for the ball, but he stopped. He slowed down. And as Chalobah's coming down, he stumped on him. That action could have been avoided. You know, it wasn't. I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, it was 50-50 and they're both doing it. That could have been avoided. He actually went down on the player. You know, that motion of going down, he didn't have to go down. That wasn't part of it. That wasn't natural movement. No, sorry, can I just finish? But I just want to make one more point. One point that we haven't mentioned as well, and I think, I'm not sure if you guys talked about it, the Mason Mount one. Do you see him glance to where Mason Mount was? And he shoved his arm out in front of him.
Oh, you know, the elbow. Yeah.
He glanced at when, because sometimes people say, okay, they feel for it, but he actually looked around, he saw he's behind him, and he threw his arm out into his face.
Yeah,
and I think he should have got.
Yeah, I think that should have been a yellow. Nothing crazy, but a yellow.
I don't think it was a red, but I think he should have got booked for it. They got a free kick.
Max, I saw the elbow one you're talking about, but the only thing with that is he looks, and when he looked that time is when he fobs him off the first time. The second time
he threw his arm a second
and Mace is about to get ahead of him, so he puts his head down. So his head is in a different position from the time he looked. So when he swings his arm back and he hits him, he was like, if he had done it the time he looked at him, he would have hit his chest. But Mason actually puts his head down and then he hits his head afterwards. Now that should have been a yellow card, I agree, just because you were being reckless or whatever. But I didn't think it was a red.
I didn't say it was a red.
That didn't worry me too much.
But what I was saying is the fact is nothing was done, and they gave the free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah,
we didn't even get the free kick for that.
No, like when Jamie Carragher, the more he sees this, more he feel like that's really a reckless tackle. So my question is, what exactly those VAR referees were looking at? And the other thing is, did you see how the commentator make the whole thing seem like, oh, it was just two players coming together? That's the one thing I noticed. Every time a VAR decision goes in our way, you will notice that the commentator will always make the decision, say, oh, yeah, this one is a penalty. I think this one is a penalty. Then the referee always end up giving it. At the moment where those commentators say, this is not now, I don't see anything bad with this, the decision will never go in your way. So when Chalobah and Keita came together, first when I saw it, I was like, okay, Chalobah, what's going on in here? Okay, is Chalobah getting a card? Then when I saw the slow motion, I was like, okay, Keita is off. Then while the commentator was saying, no, this is just two people coming together. This is I don't think this is intentional. But intentional, like he just endangered someone on the field. It doesn't care if he has the intention or not.
Even that referee match. The referee
I don't understand all this thing about is it 50-50? It's not intentional. Who cares?
You remember the referee in the chat that I think it was Kasim who said it. The referee himself said, "Oh, he didn't mean like." Who cares?
Who cares if he didn't mean or not?
It's
nobody comes on the field to break
you
him.
You can't be adjudicating a worse intent as a referee.
Thank you. That's exactly.
So here's the thing. And like you're right, Boogie. I was watching that and I was just like, oh wow, he's gonna go off now. I feel sorry for Keita because I know he didn't mean it, but he's got to go off. That's a red card. I literally said that to myself in my head. I was thinking, wow, that's a shame. They're gonna be down to 10 men, and that's gonna be the reason why Chelsea win. But when that decision went the opposite, and they didn't even give him a foul. He didn't get carded or anything. There's no foul on that.
Actually, he has congratulations, man. Keep going. Or something
because they just stopped the play because of the injury. It wasn't because there's a foul on the play. So when I saw that, I was just kind of like, this is a pop show, man. This is a poppy show thing, man. Because these guys are really trying to really, really adjudicate this game fairly. Because that's a straight red card any day of the week. Anyone you ask, doesn't matter if you're a Liverpool supporter or not, they will tell you that's a red card.
And I'm tired of hearing from referees who back their referee friends because these people are not being honest. When a referee tells me that he thought,
I saw that. I saw that. Man. Yeah, no, and they try so hard. Yeah. They try so hard to make. I mean, listen, look, if a person makes a bad decision, call it out, because the only way we're gonna move forward is by learning from our mistakes. All right, listen, Liverpool, they've won the cup. Congratulations to them.
No.
Congratulations to Liverpool, they've won the cup. However, for me as a referee to come out on TV and to defend the mistakes of another referee, then I am not doing my profession any justice, because that's the worst thing you can do. Call him out. He made a mistake. He made an error, and we need to address that, because by doing that, next time it happens, they will not get. They will not. Punish or sacrifice another team's chances at glory. Because look, I'll be honest with you guys. We're Chelsea. We will win this cup. We will win bigger cups. For us, we are champions. But this could have happened to a team like Arsenal or to Spurs. And they could have been the one in a 3-decade opportunity.
Another 50 years to win the next.
What I'm saying. So let's be a little bit more responsible, and get these referees to make the decisions properly, because some clubs will never get a chance to win a trophy. If this keeps on going.
That's the issue. There's no accountability for these referees.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to call for any referee to be attacked or something, but that's pretty much. I'm frustrated with what happened yesterday. And listen, I'll have to go anyways. Yesterday game, we were supposed to win that game. At least Mount, Pulisic, and Havertz. Come on, guys. We don't want to see what we saw last season, and the reason why we brought Lukaku in. Like, come on, guy. Like what I saw yesterday, I was so frustrated with.
What did Havertz do wrong? Sorry, go.
No, he has a chance also at one point to. I can't remember when it was.
Offside. Yeah, he was offside. Was it in the second half? He was off, and he missed.
We're talking about that one we tried to lift it over the keeper and it went wide. Yeah, it was offside.
Yeah, it was offside. Okay, anyway, forget about it. But Mount's second chance, he has so much
Mount's
time.
got to score that second goal. That second one.
He rushed. The ball was still between his legs. He didn't notice that he had that much of a time. He just have to touch that ball one more time and just call the ball around the goalkeeper and just score like Chilwell did in the Champions League or somewhere. I think it was in the Champions League. You run the ball through the goalkeeper and you have empty net. He didn't know he had that much. Listen, they're young. I know that, but come on.
We can't keep making that excuse though. We can't make. He's had three full seasons now, Mason Mount, and that's I was giving him a bit of leeway because of but now he's got to be maturing. So a lot of these. For me, he's just a decent player. He's not a very good player yet. Because of a very good player.
He's a good player.
No. He's decent. I'll put him in a decent category.
His decision making is just where we are.
But that's what makes you a very good player, though. I mean, he's good at certain aspects of his game. To go to the next level, he's got to be I want to see more consistency.
Max, I'm gonna cut you off for a second. I'll let you answer first, but this is. But are you staying or you have to go?
One sec.
If you go do something and come back.
1 point. No, I cannot come back. As 1 point something minutes.
Sorry.
I still have 1.5 minutes. Then I'll have to go now. I'm listening.
All right. Okay. This is the question I want to ask everyone, and then we'll address this question. And then we'll move over to Roman Abramovich and the trustee situation, and also his initiative to try to help the people of Ukraine. So we're going to discuss that in a moment. But before, I want to ask you guys one question: is Mason Mount the victim of the hype and the weight that has been put on his shoulders to be the next Frank Lampard, the next goal-scoring midfielder, the next best thing since sliced bread, and this is the result. He isn't there yet, and we're expecting him to be there by now, and that is why everyone is on his case. Is it because we expect too much from him, or is it because he's not delivering? Where is it? I'll let Max kick us off, and then I want to hear from everyone.
As I said, I think he's...
Sorry?
Let Boogie talk first.
Go on, Boogie. Go on, Boogie.
Yes, I think Mount is a talented player, and he will come good for sure. I just think the Tuchel system, the high energies system, and his roles in this team, pressing, and then when you have those chances, he just lacking how do you say, that precision in front of the goal, or that time, or take that time of reflection to just take 2 or 3 seconds and assess the situation properly and make the proper decision. The thing is, he is too much into pressing and have the ball and shooting. But to be that Frank Lampard level of footballer, you have to be able to be in those situations more than 10, or you have to train in the training section, do it many times, and so it become part of you. It has to be part of Mount to, when he get to those situations, knows that, okay, now the goalkeeper is in front of me. I need to focus my attention on this post or this post, and then put the ball in this angle. He's not there yet because he's still learning, and because of Tuchel's system, I think the intensity, he's still adapting to it. That's the major issue with Mount. So I don't think we should be saying the hype that we saw last season is still there, but he's just kind of bringing a lot into it, and he just needs to put everything in proper place, and we will see a better of Mount. Okay, man, thanks for having me. And that referee, yo, man, I'm calling for his head, but not in the other way. I'm still frustrated. I cannot sleep. Those guys managed to destroy my days, and I don't like it. But okay, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys.
Take care, Boogie. Love you too, brother. Take care, brother.
If we see a horse's head in that guy's bed, then we know Boogeyman put it in. He's not called Boogeyman for nothing, is it?
For nothing, you know what I mean?
So with what I say, with Benson Matt's a decent player. He's got a lot of good attributes. As Boogeyman said, he's a very good presser. He's high energy. He's got lots of. I like his attitude, but to go to that next level, he needs to start. The good players, they always produce in the final third of the field. That what separates the very good players from just ordinary players, because a lot of players can do some of the things that Mason Mount does. So we want to be seeing something out of the ordinary. I did a video that I mentioned about Adama Traore. He's probably one of the best dribblers in world football, but why is he not world-class player? Because he doesn't produce. It's no point beating 7 or 8 players if you're going to cross it into row Z or not produce a shot at the end of it. So for me, you have to be producing consistently. The De Bruynes, the Silvas, those sort of players, they give you those final balls in the those excellent passes in the final third on a consistent level. I think Gallagher. I was going to mention Gallagher. Someone's just read my mind, John Arnold, because I was just going to say Gallagher has been producing the goals at Crystal Palace. He's been producing in the final third on a consistent level for Crystal Palace with his goals. I think he's got in front of goal. He's got a bit more composure than Mason Mount, in my opinion. Playing for Palace and playing for Chelsea is different. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens when he comes back, because I think they've got similar sort of assets in their game. But I just think Gallagher for me looks like the more natural finisher and someone who can give you more in that final third.
So it's not expectations; it's actual performances. Is the reason why we are criticizing him?
Because a lot of people are just they're just putting him on that sort of mantle before time. They're just putting him they're still young. They still need time to develop. I know he's had 3 seasons. I said it myself.
Is the people that are putting him on that mantle the reason why he is being treated, or he is being targeted, or he's being mentioned in a negative sense right now because of those people who have tried to put him on that pedestal?
It's nothing to do with that. Because the thing is, with Mount, there's always been 2 camps with Mason Mount, hasn't there? There's been those who they
love him or hate him.
He can do no wrong. The Johnnies of this world, yeah. And then there are some people, because those who didn't want Frank Lampard in, it's just that they associate with, and if you look at it, being honest, Sarri. It's all to do with Sarri as well. It's a Sarri Lampard, because Lampard replaced Sarri. A lot of people didn't want to see Sarri go, and it's like you have to take sides. So some people are like pro Jorginho. If you're pro Jorginho, for some reason you have to be anti Mount. It's just a stupid sort of rivalry going on there.
You got to be here or there. You can't be both.
Exactly. And there's a lot of that around, and all these sorry sexuals, as they call them, or whatever, they just feel that Mason Mount doesn't fit into that sorry type of football. So there's some weird cult thing going on at Chelsea with that thing. So I just don't know.
Also, I think it's just the modern day fan. I think people we have way too much time in their hands. They watch way too much football videos and streams, which is good. We want them to watch the Blue Lounge, but I think people, they drive themselves crazy with so many different opinions that they can't really form an opinion of their own and just look at things objectively. Yeah. Like I find this, like, even when I have debates with people just generally about Lampard, like for me, Lampard is one of the greatest ever. And whenever I say how many goals did Iniesta score? Yeah, automatically they think he scored a bucket load, but then they go back and look and they're shocked. Like, wow, this guy had 2 goals one season. I'm like, yeah, or they go back and I'm like, how many goals did Zidane score? Yeah, I love Zidane. These are amazing players, but we didn't judge them by the same. And that's one of the reasons why Lampard stood out, because no other midfielder is in the top 10 goal scorers in Premier League history. 100 and something goals, and then his assists underrated as well. So. But
those 2 your special players that you mentioned.
But that's what I'm saying. No, unbelievable players, but they were different. So when I say that Frank Lampard is the best goal scoring midfielder, I expect no talk back. But they want to talk. Want to say, this one.
He's the best goal scoring midfielder we've ever seen.
Not just the best goal scoring catch. His assists are actually amazing. But people just think, he just needs to come into the box and score goals. But anyway, getting back to Mason, I think the thing I'm not quite ready to judge him fully is because Conor Gallagher is playing in the position he wants to play, which is a number 8, so he can get into the box late and score those goals. So it's a different position to what we're asking Mason to do, where he's part of a front 3. He's playing on the right wing, left wing, in behind number 10, all that sort of thing. So I would love to see Mason in that position for us as well for a whole season as a number 8, because I think there you can time your runs and it's not about, like, if you see yesterday he struggled to run past people because he doesn't have that pace. We're expecting to beat somebody on the wing with trickery, and that's not really his game. If he can just concentrate on shooting and get arriving in the box late and stuff like that, I think you see his goal tally go up.
Yeah, but what the funny thing is? You say he's more of an 8, and I probably agree with you. Tactically, he probably should be best suited there, but he hasn't played there in 3 years.
I know he played on the Lampard.
He's predominantly been playing on the left. So at this point in time, we need to see him start to excel in that role.
Yeah.
I want to see him score some goals.
Both examples you made about him running, both chances came from him running from deep, and he didn't put them away. Okay, the first one was a bit more difficult when he came in at pace, but the second one, he did come from deep. It was a good run by him, and he needed to show a bit more composure. And that's the thing. Mason Mount does get into a lot of good positions. He does, but he sometimes is a bit hurried or rash, or he's not clever in his decision making. So he just needs to be a bit smarter and cuter when it comes to that final execution in the final third.
Wait, quick question, Max. Are you describing Mason Mount or you're describing Timo Werner right now? Because what you just said is the same thing, the excuses we give for Timo Werner. He makes good runs. It's
not an excuse, it's reflect.
I mean, reflect. Same thing.
Hold on. Short time. You remind me of something. Max, I didn't get a chance to ask you this since the game, but what did you think of Timo Werner's performance and the way that he impacted the game when he came on last night?
That's a tricky one for me. He was making some runs, but I thought his control wasn't great. He's not. I don't think he's that intelligent in his play, but his movement was okay-ish. But
you didn't feel that he changed the game when he came on. He gave us a little bit more in attack, and Liverpool were on the back foot.
Energy when he came on, I'd still think that he needs to improve that touch. His touch is poor, and his technique isn't good. There was one where they laid it off to him. Was it Havertz? No, Lukaku laid it off to him. Good layoff, and he went for this shot for the outside of the boot. He ended up passing it to Havertz or something. Yeah. And he Sometimes he's got to be intelligent. There was one time where he pressed where he shouldn't have pressed, and then he left it that side, the right side, where he was exposed. When they played the ball out, they Marcus Alonso Reece James. They left him 1-on-1 because that wasn't the time to press because people behind him weren't doing the press, and you can't press on your own at times. But his movement and pace were okay, but I still just think his technique needs to be better for me.
All right, I want to ask you, and sorry guys, I didn't get a chance to speak to Max straight after the game, so I'm interested to hear what he thought about Werner, which he told me, and the other guy that I'm interested to hear your assessment on is Lukaku. What did you think of it? And was that the first time you seen him play live, or did you see him play live before?
No, I've seen him before, yeah.
What did you think of him in comparison?
I thought he was quite good yesterday. His movement was a lot better than it has been. He showed more desire, even when he was pressing a bit more than he normally does. His hold-up play was pretty good. So I thought he did okay when he came on. He gave them a different problem, because when he came on, I think. Havertz is a good player, but he's not the strongest, is he, on the ball? He's more about movement. So they were kind of bullying him a bit on the ball. But when Lukaku came on, they he was a lot stronger when he was holding out the ball. It's just a pity he couldn't put more on that other, right near the end of full time when he could have. It's just a pity he didn't get more on the ball.
Wow.
When the ball was it Havertz who crossed it to him? I can't remember who it was.
Alonso.
It
was Alonso.
No, was it
Alonso?
Havertz?
Yeah, Alonso. Yeah, it's a great pass by Alonso. Yeah, it was Alonso.
And you know what was surprised? I was surprised that it even got to him because there's like 3 or 4 defenders that were in between him, and I was surprised he even got a touch on that. It was incredible.
Yeah, Alonso had a brilliant game, by the way. Yeah, but if he had got just a little bit more purchase on it, then he would have been a hero yesterday.
Yeah,
but I thought he did okay when he came on.
Yeah. All right. Listen. Before I address you guys, people in the chat, I will be putting the link in the chat in about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes. Once I wrap up on this subject and we start with the other subject, I will bring you guys on to give me your thoughts and opinions. We're on 95 likes. Let's see if we can get to 100. 5 more likes away. And if you're new to the Blue Lounge, subscribe. You'll enjoy the content. Does anybody else want to address Mason Mount before we go to the new topic? This is your chance. Anybody wants to address Mason Mount?
Sure.
Yeah. Who was that? Couch?
Yeah, go ahead, Shokai.
Oh yeah. For me, Mason Mount. I mean, my opinion on Mason Mount he's been poor all season. Probably. I mean, I've seen it online as well. The only probably good game that I can recall from him is the Norwich game. And that's about the only decent game he has had all season when it comes to scoring goals and being in that attacking position and put it in the back of the net. For me, the thing that got me yesterday is after he missed the second chance, he smiled. Any other player would have been angry or furious with himself. That grin that he had on his face as I watched it, I just it hurt my heart to see him smile after he missed that one because that affected me in a different way. Because if it was everybody else in the panel said it. If it was anybody else that missed those 2 chances that he's missed, it would have been blown up on Twitter everywhere.
Yeah,
but for me, him
imagine
smiling, that would have been a real problem. If Lukaku, they would have burnt his shirt outside of Wembley yesterday if he would have done that. But for me, when
the other thing is Showtime. Sorry to interrupt. Do you see him when he's on the bench as well?
Yeah,
when he's on the bench, he's laughing. I would be, I wouldn't be jokey. I would, be more determined. So, for me, he needs a bit of that mean streak because he doesn't like. As I said, we want to see that hurt when they miss, not a smile on his face. We don't know what he cut, but for the fans, you want to see that sort of anger, that hurt that you've just missed.
Yeah, I could understand if it was the first one and you smirked, but the second one and you smirking, it's the crucial point of the game. That is a problem for me. That what really got me. I understand you can miss sometimes, but you smiling is just like a little. I don't know what's going on in your head that you want to smile after you miss that type of chance that is clearly a goal. But other than that, I think like everybody said, Gallagher coming in next season. I hope he gives Mason Mount a run for his money. because this star boy attitude that we're giving him, or this love that we give towards Mason Mount, it needs to be spread around amongst the other Cobham graduates, because he gets the most love out of everybody, but he's also the one that's really underperforming out of everybody since he plays the most, in my opinion. That's about it for Mason.
Yeah, and Showtime as well. Going on to what you've been saying a while about Lukaku. One thing I did notice, you mentioned Mo about Lukaku and Werner, the two subs. When Lukaku came on, the reception was mixed, but when Werner came on, everyone was singing his name.
Yeah. I got off my seat. I got off my seat for Timo Werner. For Lukaku, I didn't get off my seat. I'll be honest.
I understand. It's okay, but if he would have if that goal wasn't overturned yesterday, I know you would have got up off your seat then. So
no, I celebrated. I celebrated until it was given offside. I celebrated. Yeah.
You just got to take it. I mean, hopefully next season, if he's back next season, you guys give him a warm welcome in the bridge. No worries.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I don't know if Cash still wanted to talk about Mount, but I just have a sentence, really. I think the most important thing is he shouldn't feel safe in our team. He shouldn't feel like I'm gonna start. He should be nervous about his position right now.
Yeah, but I don't. I agree with that. 100% agree with that. There needs to be more competition, but it's the reason why he's been, an ever present in the side is because he gives the manager what he wants. Whether it be just the running around and like creating chances, his set piece taking, like all of these things that are still important to how we play football. So I can understand that. Like Tuchel's not stupid. He doesn't. I don't think he shows any favoritism either. He will definitely sit somebody that's not giving him what he wants. It's just a matter of fact that Mason Mount gives him qualities that other guys don't. So he'll play.
But that's what I said. I said he's got his good qualities in there, but to get to that next level, he needs to improve in that final third. But he's got a lot of good qualities in his game.
And even as you say that, Max, I agree with you. Like I think that Conor Gallagher has a similar, a similar tree in terms of like skill set, and he has a couple more, like the composure in front of the goal is another thing you touched on, which is very true. I think he's better in composure when he's in front of goal. Granted, yes, there's less pressure put on somebody at Crystal Palace than there is at Chelsea. You're not seeing Crystal Palace in cup finals in front of goal and whatnot. So completely different headset altogether. Like when the pressures are mounting, can he step up and deliver? We'll have to see. I'm thinking that he can, but we'll see. But for me, Mount is always just going to be a cog. He's not going to be the engine. He's a cog in the engine, a very key cog. And I've been saying this from when he was at Derby or wherever he was. Like he's just a key cog. He's not the guy that you build your squad around. I wouldn't even give him the captaincy. Like to me, the guy that I'm looking to from Cobham that gets a captaincy, Reece James. His mentality, everything about that kid screams captain to me. He's got that nasty edge to him. He's not afraid. He's just a little bit soft-spoken. That's the only thing. But
I say Reece James first. Even Chalobah ahead of Thingy as well. I'll put Chalobah ahead of Mason.
I wanna change topics. Before I change topics, I want to touch on the last thing, or just before the last thing that Couch said. Conor Gallagher is playing in a different team, a different system, against different opposition. You're going to be like, but he's playing in the Premier League. Yes, but the teams that face us don't play against Crystal Palace the way they play against us. Therefore, the opposition is different. And I think Gallagher is a great player, fantastic player, and one that we will definitely be looking forward to having at Chelsea. But don't judge his performances at Crystal Palace and expect the same return at Chelsea, because it's a totally different game when he's going to be representing Chelsea. So just keep that in mind for next season. The topic that I'm going to address now, and once we address this topic, lads, I will put the link in the chat and give you guys an opportunity to come on and give me your thoughts and opinions on anything we've discussed tonight. So it's been a long stream so far, but sit tight. We'll be here for a little bit while longer. So you might want to go grab a drink, grab a snack, and just relax. Roman Abramovich, we all know he released a statement in regards to how he wants the club to move forward over the foreseeable future. The turbulent time that we're currently in. And that statement gave the ownership or gave the stewardship of the club to the trustees, a charitable trust which is set up by Chelsea for Chelsea, and it's run by Busbach and a whole bunch of Chelsea people. Now, that organization, I believe, is preparing to accept this decision. After a reshuffle happens, certain things are addressed, because not everyone within that trust is comfortable to be given this role. So there's a couple of people in that trust who may be stepping down. As of starting the stream, I don't know who these people are. If anything has gone on, we've gone live, I am not aware of it. But there's two people within that trust don't want to continue if they are going to be given that accountability. So this is one element that I wanted you guys to be aware of. The second element is this. When all of this started to kick off and things started to develop, and people were putting the blame on Abramovich for being a part of this, part of the problem, part of the establishment that is close to Putin, close to decision makers in Russia, and maybe he is funding, maybe he is supporting. Well, the president of Ukraine is a former celebrity. He's a former actor / comedian who has links outside of politics, who has links in the entertainment business, in charitable organizations outside of his political life. And it looks like a group of his people reached out to a Jewish entity that is linked to Roman Abramovich. Or Roman Abramovich's entity reached out to him. I'm not 100% sure on the details. But a request came in and a response was given. A request came in for Roman Abramovich to assist in brokering some sort of deal, some sort of agreement, some sort of assistance in mediating, in reducing the tension, reducing the suffering that is currently happening in Ukraine because of his ties and his connections. Roman Abramovich has a lot of connections in politics, in business, in media, and he has money that he can use to influence a positive outcome. Maybe he can't, and he probably can't overturn this whole war thing, this whole disaster that is currently happening in Ukraine, but he can ease, or he can broker some sort of positivity in one area, 2 areas, 3 areas, whatever area or whatever avenue he can. And you know what? He wants to do it. He's happy to do it. He's happy to do whatever he can to help. We were speaking earlier, I think it was a couple of days, and someone said Roman Abramovich should donate X amount of millions to a Ukrainian charity, or Roman Abramovich should do something as a statement of him being anti this and pro this. I responded by saying this: Roman Abramovich will not need to do something like that for propaganda, for marketing, for self-promotion. He won't do that, and he won't need to do that. Firstly, he isn't the one instigating this war. Secondly, he is not an entity which is participating in this war. Okay, so why would he need or should or have to do something to clear his name? He doesn't. However, what he is doing is he is chipping in the way that he can to try to assist. And again, he doesn't have to, but because he's in a position to do it, he's going to do it. The media has been attacking Roman, has been attacking his history, his legacy, his reputation, his club. Look, Roman is like I said, he's not a saint. But if you want to attack him for what he's actually done rather than what you are alleging or what you are assuming or what you are promoting as something that he may be doing or will be doing or can be doing. Look at what he is doing. And what he is doing is he's trying to help. He's trying to help. So I'm going to give you guys on the panel a minute to give me your thoughts and opinions on this topic. And I will open the stream to the people in the chat to jump on and give me their opinions. I'm going to use the center screen so we don't have people talking over each other. So who wants to go first? Let me know. I'll bring you on. So who wants to go first on this?
Sure, I will. I gotta go soon anyway, so I might as well just.
All right, Couch, take it away.
Okay, first of all, I should say that I don't know much about what the geopolitical situation is in the Ukraine and Russia. I know some about it, and I also know that obviously Roman has ties to the Kremlin and to Putin. That's a fact. Like we can't ignore that, right? So all of this now that's come out with him trying to go to the border to try and like negotiate some sort of a peace deal. I from what I read, what I heard was he's just going there as an intermediary. He's not there to try and like broker any sort of a deal. He's basically the middleman saying, this is what they want. He's going to take it back to the people that he knows at the Kremlin. So even that, again, is commendable because you're putting yourself in a large amount of danger. You're on the firing lines right now of a major conflict. So that in itself is commendable. But in terms of the sort of like the optics of it and whatnot, I'm not so certain that is about, it doesn't say what his true motives are in terms of, whether or not he's pro or anti, Putin, pro or anti-war. Like, I don't think that
it doesn't. Sorry, Katja, sorry to interrupt you. It doesn't matter what his position is in regards to the war, in regards to the political side of things, because what his actions are is based on humanitarian motives, and we know Ukraine and Russia. There's a lot of family history between they're not independent as in there's no ties. There's a lot of Ukrainians with roots in Russia and there's a lot of Russians with roots in Ukraine. So don't be, and we said this in the past, but one of his best mates is Shevchenko, the former, I think, Prime Minister of Ukraine and former Chelsea footballer, former Ukrainian team captain. Mm-hmm. So there is a lot in respect to the history between Russia and Ukraine and Roman Abramovich and Ukraine as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can't speak to the geopolitics of it. Like, obviously, footballing wise, yeah, he does have some ties there, but like the geopolitical situation is completely different, and we can't, this particular conflict, we cannot not look at that as well. He's been tied to Putin. If I'm not mistaken, he was the one that first recommended to Yeltsin to look at Putin as a successor. It was his word. So there is a natural tie there. Whether or not he is, a Putin puppet or any of these other things that come out of, what people say about him, I have no understanding of that. But I do know that they do have ties. And I will also say that I don't think that at this point in time, because really what you do when you do sanctions is what you try to do is you're putting pressure on the wealthy to influence the government to make decisions with their best interests in mind. But with this particular situation, I don't think that is at all going to have any sort of impact whatsoever, because Putin is a dictator. So you're not going to tell Putin, oh, well, listen, my steel company's losing billions right now because of the sanctions, and my football club is, they're trying to take away my football club. He won't care about that. It's like the sanctions, I understand, probably would be viewed as like a bare minimum, as a show of like, listen, we have to take this serious right now. But at the same time, what does it amount to? It's not going to amount to anything in terms of how you stop this conflict, because Putin will do what Putin does. He's not going to listen to any, of his oligarchs. As a matter of fact, the ones that have spoken out on him have lost their lives. So I don't know. I don't know where, I can understand obviously with Roman, even if he does want to speak out on him, I can as a father and as a guy that, I don't like getting into too many conflicts myself. I can understand why he wouldn't want to, speak out against this guy, because his life's important to him, and this guy can can touch you anywhere in the world. He's shown that already. So I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. I'm very much of the opinion that like this is a very sensitive topic, and it's not something that should be covered in football circles, because it goes beyond that. And for me, what we're talking about right now, and this conflict is, it goes well beyond my love for this club, and Roman's tied up in it in some way, shape, or form. But ultimately, this deal that's being brokered or being mediated at the border, I'm hoping that it goes the right way, because just got to put an end to all of this altogether.
We don't have to address Roman Abramovich and his initiative. We don't have to address that, because we don't need to speak about what he is trying to do. But we can speak about him being sanctioned and the club being taken away from him. That because it's related to the club. But the fact that he is trying to do something positive, we should avoid. I don't agree with that. I think we should talk about the good and the bad. I mean, if Roman Abramovich was contacted to be a third party to mediate between Ukraine and Russia, and he turned it down, then everyone would be jumping on him as as being someone who is evil and unhumane. But the fact that he accepted it and wants to go forward and do something about it, we should ignore that topic and not talk about it. I disagree. I think whatever situation we're in respect to the trustees and the way that the club is going to move forward, Roman's actions are going to have an impact on us, massive impact on us, and therefore we need to address them. We need to address
on this trustees thing just real quick before
I'll just finish off and then I'll let you continue.
Yeah, sure.
In respect to sorry. In respect to the outcome of his actions and the way that it's going to be perceived, it's been taken up by all kinds of people, all kinds of journalists, all kinds of media, all kinds of politics. This summer, we're going to have a transfer window. And that transfer window, we are going to be in a very tight spot because of the future being uncertain. Yes, the money's still there. Yes, we are still able to make the transfers and to buy players. But we, as a club, will need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. And you're going to also find a lot of players are going to be very, very careful about coming to Chelsea Football Club because of what they are seeing and what they are hearing in the media. And this is why I think we should, as Chelsea fans, address it and not ignore it.
Yeah.
Go on, Couch.
No, that's spot on. That's spot on, and that's a good point. I probably went deeper than I probably should have in terms of what I was going on about. But like in terms of like the footballing aspects of this, yeah, you basically nailed it right on the head. As far as the trustees go, I find it quite odd that this wasn't discussed ahead of time because it shows. Because if two trustees have now said, well, we're not taking on the stewardship, wouldn't that have been discussed before the power shift? Wouldn't that have been something where you think that they would have been like, okay, well, yeah, so let's sit down together. This is what's happening right now. I'm probably likely going to be sanctioned. I don't want to have this impact the club in any way. So I want to turn over my control, my controlling interest of the club, not my ownership, but the controlling interest in terms of like my voice to the club, to you trustees, and go from there. And at that point, that dialogue would have produced, some discussion where the two people that were unsure of wanting to take on that responsibility, that would have been the spot for that to happen. Like the fact that it's come out after the fact, it seems like it was just kind of like sprung on them. And that to me kind of looks like it was just kind of like, this is just smoke and mirrors. Like this really doesn't really have the teeth that we're led to believe. Like this is not really something. This is basically just evasive tactics more so than it is an actual like, listen, I need to step away from this. What kind of discussions were made there? As far as like what impacts this has in the summer and like our transfer window, yeah, you're bang on. Like I agree, this is a major development. Like the fact that if Roman gets sanctioned, what likely happens is we don't have the ability to rely on him to bankroll the club. He can't make any investments in the club at this point. So it's going to be very, very difficult for this club who, took major losses last year to now pony up and say, put in another 97, 80 million, pound bid on players just based on our turnover and whatnot. We just don't have that sort of revenue at our disposal. We're going to have to sell players. We're going to have to, probably use the loan army again to generate funds. But yeah, with the intentions of what we want to do for the club and going forward, this is a precarious position to say the least.
I don't think that anything's changed, to be honest, because I was discussing this with Mo.
One second. Are you addressing Couch's critics point, or are you coming in?
I'm coming. I'm kind of addressing this point with regards to if things will change. I don't think things will change as much because I was discussing it with Mo yesterday, and it's a stewardship. It's not. He's still going to be doing the day-to-day running of the club. I only think things will change if sanctions are taken out on the club. Because what he's doing, he's taking himself out of the firing line. Because we're discussing it, the press are discussing it, loads of people are discussing it. If he takes himself out of the firing line for now, and so leaves it in the hand of the trustees, he's still going to be telling them what to do. The word is not ownership; it's stewardship. Stewardship is care. You're looking after it on my behalf until I'm ready to return.
Right.
So,
but if that stewardship extends beyond months, weeks, years, or
but it's the stewardship. But he's still going to be putting in money. He's not going to be. As I said, the only way he'll stop putting in money is if sanctions are introduced.
Exactly.
And they said, yeah. So if that's then we've got a problem.
Right. That's exactly
All
what
right.
I said.
All right. Cheers, Couch. Who wants to jump in next? Who wants to address this topic next? Anybody? No one? All right. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. No one? And I'm gonna give Showtime. All right, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Showtime, do I jump in? Showtime, you're gonna have to fix your audio, mate. It's All right, the link is in the chat. I'm gonna pin it as the pinned comment. Anybody wants to jump in, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah, the only other thing I'd say on the matter is Bruce Buck, I've never had confidence in him because he's part of the trustees, isn't he? I've never had confidence in him when what does he do really? Because even some of the statements he comes out with and stuff is he's meant to be the chairman of the club, and yeah, he's not somebody that I warm to be honest. Emma she's a manager of the women's football club. And the finance guy does maybe as I don't know a lot about him to judge him, but the names being mentioned there are names that either I don't know a lot about, or people that I haven't got a lot of faith in to take the club forward. So that's why I still think that Rome's going to be making the decisions, and they're just the face of Chelsea.
And it's also convenient or I don't want to say convenient, but it's also a fact that Tuchel said nothing's going to change for him, and for him the main point of contact is still going to be Marina Granovkaia and Petr Cech. So, nothing's changed. So we'll take it from there. I've got a few people jumping on. Showtime is the same. Showtime has just changed his picture, so I'll put him up here. I'll bring in Tobago, and then I'll bring in. Let me get the name right. It's Little Black Book 91 on the show again. I actually jumped on a couple of his streams recently, so it'll be good to chat to him. Let me hear from Tobago first. Tobago, welcome to the stream. Give me your thoughts and opinions on anything you've heard us talk about tonight. Can you hear me,
big
Tobago?
up, guys. How are you?
Big up. We're good. How are you? How you doing?
Yeah, all good, mate.
Actually, anyway, I'm fine today. Yesterday, I was not okay because, truly speaking, we should have won the game before the penalties. But anyway, it is what it is. And then, so far, what I know about what I've read about the war between Russia and Ukraine, if it was Vladimir Putin or whoever was in charge in Russia, the war would have been still being happening. So this war was played long ago. But anyway, I'll share the link to Mo, and then he can read it too. So anyway, guys, I'm not happy about the game of yesterday. We should have won the game. Also, VAR is not consistent. And then that Lukaku goal was very important. And then they just check it 2 seconds, and then they decide it's an offside. What is that? Also, that Keita foot on Chaloba, they said it's not a red card. No way, that's the robbery. And then what I would like to tell you guys, what I've seen, we have lost 4 domestic finals, but we are winning European finals. So that means Chelsea is everyone in UK is against Chelsea, because it's either the referees or the VAR is making us lose those games. But anyway, it's fine. It is. They're the champions of the world, champions of the Europe. So no need to worry about that, guys. Let's focus on winning another Champions League.
Yeah, no,
Big up,
Tobago,
guys.
thank you for coming on, and big up to you. And listen, I know why the war is happening, and I know the history behind it. I just don't want to talk about it on the stream in detail, because that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the footballing aspect and Chelsea specifically. And this is why I don't want to get involved in the politics. And Couch was right, to say that it's not something that we should give it a lot of time when it comes to this platform, because this is a footballing platform. However, war affects people in many ways and in many areas, and sport is a big one. And we all know about the decision that FIFA and UEFA have taken in respect to banning all Russian football teams, club and national teams, to partake in any FIFA or UEFA run tournament. So that's a big step, and we're going to see a lot happen in respect to the ripple effects of this conflict. But let's hope the impact on our club is minimized, and if there is impact, that is done in a fair manner, where we are not targeted because of things that are outside of our control. Because at the end of the day, this is a club that has been here for a very long time, and it will stay for a very long time. And the fans of this club want to see the best for it. And I think the actions that have been taken by Roman have been generally to defend it and to protect the club rather than his own personal interests, at least at this current point in time. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope we can move on. And in respect to what you said about the game, yeah, it was a robbery. It was a West London robbery, a Wembley Stadium robbery. So it was that. Tobago, thank you for coming on. Pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully I'll see you in future streams, my man.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, brother. Take care, Tobago. All right. The next guest is someone who subscribed to my channel a little while ago. On the day that he subscribed, he also became a paying member. So big up for him for doing that. And I later found out that he has a massive YouTube channel. And I'm really happy to see him back on. And listen, I've actually watched a couple of your streams. I can't understand your topics, man. It took me a while to figure out that it's, you're talking about TV shows or whatnot. And then I started to try to catch up with you guys, but I'm definitely getting there. Slowly but surely, I'm getting there. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for being here. Give me your thoughts and opinions on what you've had so far on the stream today.
Listen, love and appreciation from you, bro. I appreciate that,
Big
honestly.
up.
I'm gonna talk about the game, innit? Because I'm like you, bro. I want to stay away from the politics. There's no good or bad in politics. Everybody's an enemy. So I want to talk about the game. So first and foremost, I actually want to appreciate how well Chelsea played. Listen, I know we didn't win, all right, but one thing I can always appreciate, and we hear this from fans all the time, but yet when it actually happens, you hear fans crying about it. When you play well, you celebrate your team. Whether you win or lose, if you played well, you celebrate the team. Now, are there improvements that need to be made? Yes, our finishing. That has been the case for us for the last 2 seasons. You know what I mean? Since Frank Lampard was in charge, we struggle to finish our chances. We create many, but don't finish. This is an area that not just a striker needs to turn up on. The whole team, in terms of attacking flow, needs to work on finishing those chances. Right? So that's one thing. Another thing I'm not really feeling right now, I'm seeing a lot of it, amazed more on Twitter rather than anything as well, is a kind of disrespect for Mason Mount. Listen, I want to just say this. The kid's still young, the kid's still growing, and the kid's got amazing potential. What we saw in that game was 2 chances that if he had taken would have killed Liverpool off. Unfortunately, he didn't take those chances. Now, this is what happens when you have young players. They're still growing, they're still learning. Now, someone might say, well, someone who's a great footballer might have taken those chances. They might have done, right? But he's still growing. He's still growing in that aspect of his game. And it's scary for me to see someone like Mason Mount playing as well as he is at this age, because I'm hoping that we're seeing what we saw with Lampard towards the ending of his career, the later 20s. This is a guy who's in his early 20s and doing this kind of stuff already. Like, I don't want to use him as a scapegoat for why we lost. I understand he should have taken his chances, but we've got him playing forward ahead of strikers because we haven't got strikers or scoring right now. So the blame can't be placed just on Mason Mount. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot to put on his shoulders. So that's the first thing. A second thing, I love Kai Havertz up front. So I'm kind of done with this Lukaku thing. I think the solution here for Lukaku, right, not necessarily to leave. If he wants to stay and wants to make this work, he's going to have to change his game. When he came on, we still made chances. I'll give him that. And he scored a goal, and it was a legit goal. VAR is having an absolute balmy and an absolute nightmare because you cannot do from the arm which you can't play the ball with and then use that as a line. That doesn't make no sense. That was cheating. Call it what you want, but do you know what? The last few weeks, I've seen some VAR decisions, not just against Chelsea, against other teams that I've been looking at going, this doesn't make sense, right? So we're not the only team to go through that. But I prefer Kai Havertz up front. I think you saw the fluidity with himself, Pulisic, and Mason Mount, all right? And we've been seeing that since last season. I don't think Lukaku's going to have enough time to change his game to stay in this team. He could be out by summer. He could be. Depending on what happens, he could be out by summer. And we might have to cut our losses because no one's paying 100 million. I can see maybe a 50 million bid, maybe a 60 million bid. Maybe if what's her name that does the transfer? Maybe she pulls a rabbit out of the hat. We might get a quick 80, 90. Do you know what I mean? But in all honesty, we might have to cut our losses because it's not working. because he's refusing to change to adapt to the system. And the system works for most of the players. Therefore, I can't change the system just for one player. You know what I mean? Like, we can't do that. So he's going to have to make a choice, Lukaku, in that respect. I think watching a game against Liverpool, it was, again, it was good to see, like I said, the fact that we could turn it on against Liverpool. And I think we have Liverpool's card. We do have their number. It's just that finishing aspect we need to work on. So hopefully in the next few weeks, listen, we lost this cup final. But we're world champions, you know what I'm saying? We're European champions. We're still in the Champions League as well. And unfortunately we're not necessarily in a race for the Premier League. But
just a question.
I've lost audio. LB, I've lost audio. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I've lost your audio, LB. No, I still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back.
Sorry,
you're back.
Sorry, apologies. My audio went there. So I have a quick question.
Yeah, Max, go ahead. Go ahead,
Question.
Max.
Yeah, it was with regard to Lukaku. So obviously you're saying that he doesn't fit into the team. So why do you think he was bought? So obviously Tuchel must have had some sort of plan for him. Because I have some people saying it's a club signing, but he must have been consulted as well to say, how he fits into the team. So why do you think? What sort of plans do we have for him if we felt that he wasn't suited?
I'll be honest, it's not a Tuchel signing at all. Listen, this was a list given to him and said, listen, you got to choose one. This is it. Choose one and take it. Right? Took Lukaku, did as best as he could. He's not a signing. I don't see how he would have seen Lukaku as his signing. And the reason why I say that is because the way he moves off the ball, he doesn't move. And all the players he's asking them to do up front is to move, switch positions, and have fluidity. None of that comes from Lukaku when you play him. Not saying, and I had this argument, brother, he's not a bad striker. He's a very good one, but he needs a particular system to work with him within. The Chelsea system does not fit a striker like him. We need somebody who's going to have a bit of a hound dog energy. You know what I'm saying? Up front. We need Werner's energy with Lukaku's finishing. That's what we need.
but the reason I asked, because there was someone on the market, and there was Vlahovic, is a good player. Yeah, so I'm sure that the club must have looked at him as well. So.
Yeah, but I mean, we're saying Vlahovic was on the market and everything. He was, but again, just like anything, we buy emotionally sometimes, and this is the problem. Anybody can do this, whether it's us, whether it's a club. Sometimes you can buy emotionally. Lukaku was an emotional buy. We've had him previously. Bring him back to the club. Let him play for the club and the club that he left. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. And it's like that he does not fit the mold of what Tuchel's playing right now. He wouldn't have fit in Frank Lampard's mold. The previous regime, potentially a Jose Mourinho team or an Ancelotti team, he would have fitted in because we play that kind of football. But the whole switching fluidity at the top three, he's not able to do that well. So unfortunately, and do you know what? It's a bit of part on both. I think also the team don't trust him. I've never seen a team not pass to a striker so much. There are chances several times where a straight pass from the midfield straight to his feet. It's open, they don't pass it, they pass it sideways. And I'm looking at them, what's going on? What are you guys doing? That tells me they don't trust him. So,
I think there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues. Trust issues are there. There's definitely a lot to be done to improve. I'm getting short time. Every time you switch on your mic, I'm getting feedback. So I'm not sure what's happening on your end, short time. So just address that, please. I want to one thing you said, LB, and that is in respect to Mason Mount. Mason Mount is a player that has played well generally, but this season it seems that it's caught up with him. The amount of games he's been forced to play, the international duty, the club duty, it's all caught up with him, and I think he is young. And maybe he is not as equipped to dealing with it as the legend that he's been compared to, which is Frank Lampard, who did it under different circumstances, under different in a different era. But I think the way the media is, and I'm talking about social media here right now, and the way it's impacting people's opinion, we are seemingly making our judgment quicker about players than we did in the past. In the past, had we have had this kind of environment around Drogba would have been sold quite quickly, and we would not have seen him become the king that he became at Chelsea. And maybe we'll see that, unfortunately, more in the future. But I think we need to sit back a little bit and try to give players more time. And one of these players was Hakim Ziyech, because of injuries, because of form. He was being singled out as being a poor performer, and he should be the one that will be sold in the summer. However, the way he has turned it around now, everyone is thinking the last person you want to sell is Hakim Ziyech. So we are quick to judge right now, and we are quick to make our decisions. Is it the way of our time? Is it the way we're gonna be moving forward? I don't know, but I agree with you. He is young and he is still improving and he is still developing. And maybe the miss was painful. Maybe he'll do a few more things that are painful before the end of the season. But let's not jump the gun. LB, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for giving me your insight. Love having you on. So I hope to see you again in the very, very near future, brother. Take care of yourself.
Always a pleasure, bro. Oh wait, bro.
Cheers,
one last thing.
Yeah, go ahead,
guys. Check the stats for Mason Mount before you talk. If you look at the stats, it will tell you a big story. Top 8 in assists. You know what I mean? Listen, check the stats. That's what I'm going to tell him. He's got numbers.
He's got the numbers. Cheers, LB. Thank you very much, brother. Have a good one. Take care. All right, next person in, and I'm not jumping the queue this time, GNA. I'm gonna go with Nick, and then I'll go to GNA. Nick Blue, welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel. Give me your thoughts on anything you've heard us talk about today in relations to Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure.
Yeah, big up, chaps, all of you on the panel.
Big up.
And yeah, I don't want to go into the Roman Abramovich thing. We've done that before. It's too painful to start on that. We should just talk about the game. I want to talk about the game, and great game to watch. For a 0-0 was one of the best ever. Great game. Silva, immaculate as ever. Rudiger and Alonso, they pocketed Salah again, like we always do. And yeah, I was impressed with everyone. Except, all right, I know I don't hate Mason Mount, but he did cost us a game, like yesterday. You were there yourself, and you saw it was 3 good chances, not 2 or 1. He had to score at least 1. I don't hate him. I love Mason Mount, always have. But this season, he hasn't been as good as last season. That's the problem. And he's not. I don't know what's his name. Who was on there before me? He was saying
LB.
He's
Little Black Book.
He'll be 24. He'll be 24 soon. He ain't that young. A young player is like 19 to 21. He's 24. He's getting to his prime soon. So he has to improve.
Is he at his prime, Nick?
No. He's still got a couple of years.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still got a couple of years. I'm just saying he ain't that young, and he's experienced enough to do better. And I didn't like his attitude after he missed. He was laughing when he missed a bloody goal. That made me really. I thought, what's he doing, laughing like a little kid? It's a bloody big game to find. Anyway, I don't want to pull everything on Mount, but if someone has a bad game, we have to criticize. Like everyone, they were criticizing Lukaku all the time, and Werner and Ziyech, and I can go on and on. But when it comes to Mount, these are plastic fans of us. They don't like it. So you have to criticize everyone, give them what they do. When they play good, you praise them. Yeah, so he cost us the game, in the 90 minutes. After that, VAR and the ref cost us the game. Definitely not offside. That was onside, but it was an offside. Everyone said it's offside. But the problem is it's Liverpool, and they have a Liverpool fan in the VAR. This football is corrupt. This VAR they should just get rid of it. You know, it makes things worse. It's bad enough having refs who support certain teams. Now we got Liverpool fans in the VAR. Oh, I was disgusted. Otherwise, you know, good game. Kepa, I can't blame Kepa. I was saying I would like him to stay, but it wouldn't have mattered. Either goalkeeper, Mendy was great as always, but you can't blame Kepa for that. He done what he had to do. Anyone can, anyone could miss a penalty, even Ronaldo, which he has recently. So it was just bad luck and a bad missed chances from us. All right, and Pulisic, all right, everyone was saying Pulisic was as bad as well. No, Pulisic was okay. He had one chance and he missed it, that's all. But he didn't play as bad as Mount. So in the end, we lose a final, but we still have two, and we in another two. So let's go. We should go on and at least get one more, hopefully, and finish second if we can.
Yep.
That's
Nick,
really,
just 1 second, Nick. Guys, if you wanted the link to the channel of the previous speaker, Little Black Book 91, I've put it in the chat. Click on it, go show that channel some love, subscribe, support. It's not a Chelsea channel, so check it out if you like the subjects and the content. Go ahead and give him a subscription. Great lad and a supporter of the Blue Lounge. So big up to the Little Black Book 91. Nick, brother, I totally agree with you in respect to Mason Mount, and I think he does need to improve, and I think he knows that. But at the same time, he isn't doing bad. He isn't doing too badly. He isn't. All players make mistakes, and I think the reason why his mistakes are highlighted so much and are impactful is because of his role. He's an attacker, and as an attacker, you're expected to do certain things, and if he doesn't do them, and if he hits the post, he's going to be given grief. He's going to be given a hard time. It's expected. I do see a dip in his form, and like I said earlier, I think it's because of the way his season has been panning out, and we can expect that. But again, I don't want to rush it and call him out and say that he's a bad player, because I don't think Mason Mount is a bad player. I just think the lad is not having the best of form right now. In respect to the game yesterday, mate, we were robbed. We were robbed.
We were robbed
in broad daylight.
Yeah.
In broad daylight.
Yeah.
I was there and I was gutted. It was a roller coaster of emotions. That game wasn't a 0-0 game, because we scored a couple of goals. They scored one. By my count, it should have been at least 2-1, at least. But their goal was disallowed for impeding. Our goal was disallowed for offside. I think at least one of our goals was not offside. We've been talking about the one with the Lukaku goal. So it is what it is. Nick, mate, thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure having you on. We'll talk again.
Yeah,
talk
cheers.
again.
Yeah.
Cheers, Nick. Take care, brother.
Big
Have a good night. Cheers, Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. The next speaker is GNA TV. Jem, big up to you, my brother. Let me hear your thoughts and opinions about all that is Chelsea. Let me hear it, bro.
How was your view yesterday?
It was good. By the corner flag, second tier, so it wasn't too low, too high. It was a good view. Unfortunately, because it was a good view, I saw things I didn't want to be seeing, man. I saw decisions that were obvious from where I was sitting, and the referee on that pitch couldn't see what I was seeing. I mean, I had a better view than the referee. That kind of doesn't make any sense, So it's
well, as you know, what I've been listening to most to the views that you have been coming out with, and I do agree with parts of it. Don't get me wrong. I think the whole thing of us being robbed yesterday. I think we have to understand that, fortunately, the referees that are currently within our game today, and I'm talking about English referees, not foreign referees, are, I don't think, good enough to the standards that need to be a Premier League referee. And I honestly think we should look to bring in foreign referees and pay them more. I genuinely do. I just don't think they're at the level. And I don't blame VAR as the technology. I blame the people that are using the technology, because they're the ones that are making the decisions. And the one thing that drives me mad, and I always bang on about it, is it's like they pick and choose what games they want to give red cards and what games they don't want to give red cards. Now, I heard people telling me that the reason they didn't give the red card for Keita was because they didn't want to ruin the fairness of the game because it's being a final, etc., etc. But that means you're going against the letter of the law of the book, because the letter of the law of the book says that anything above waist height is opined as dangerous. It's dangerous, basically.
Studs, Jim.
It's not even that. He studied him. He had to have stitches. It was
7 stitches.
It was pretty bad. Overall, it was a pretty bad tackle, and for them to not even look at it, it wasn't even like he had it in his ear and they were talking to him. It was like, yeah, go on, carry on. I was shocked. That really did surprise me, and not just that, he even elbowed Mason Mount in the face before that as well. Clearly as well, people say no, he didn't mean to. He looked before he swung his arm. If you watch the replay, he looks before he swings his arm. So, look, they're the two things that drive me mad. The only other thing I would say in regards to the game yesterday is that, as much as I feel like we were slightly, we didn't get the rub of the green, we still have to look at ourselves as a football club. And don't get me wrong, I'm proud of my players yesterday. Even though we lost that game to penalties and Kepa missed it, I was a little bit gutted. But at the same time, I was proud because defensively, we were amazing. Thiago Silva, Rudiger, even Chalobah to a degree. And I know Chalobah, you've got to bear in mind, hasn't kicked a ball since he's been injured. He's playing against the Luis Diaz, who I love that guy. I think he's a top quality player, running him in and out. And, I just thought defensively we were good. I know some people felt mixed in regards to Kovačić and Kante. For me, I thought they done what they needed to. I thought Kante was just Kante in most parts of that game. Kovačić, I thought, done very well breaking up the play and trying to move the ball forward. I actually thought we won that midfield battle slightly. But it was a weird game because it sort of went through patches where Chelsea dominated, then Liverpool dominated, then it went into half-time, then Chelsea dominated, then Liverpool dominated. And then once the substitutions were made, I felt like Liverpool suffered more than Chelsea. They just looked weaker. They couldn't hold the ball more. Chelsea sort of grew in the game. We had more control.
Jim, would you agree with this statement that Timo Werner and Lukaku put a lot of pressure on Liverpool when they came on?
I think Liverpool actually, even though Liverpool played a high line, I thought their line was a lot more higher when they came on. And I don't know whether that was just because they thought Romelu Lukaku's movement wouldn't be good enough. So they thought they could get away with playing it high. I thought when Kai Havertz was leading the line, even though the space was there, I mean, it just felt like there was more space in the extra time parts. So that might have just been because they thought Lukaku wouldn't. But Werner, 100%, he did catch him. But the problem was, and this is the thing with Liverpool, it's a high risk. It's a high risk, but it's a reward for them because it is risky the way they play, but it's rewarding in the way that they win the ball back quite clean. And not just that, a lot of times they catch people offside. If our players could just hold their lines a bit better, Timo Werner, Lukaku, all right, maybe his goal was a goal, who knows? But there was a number of goals we scored that were just like, if they would have just held their run a bit better, it would have been got away with it. And I don't know, I've seen a lot of people talking about Mason Mount, and don't get me wrong, we could have been 2, maybe 3 up in the first 20 minutes with the 3 chances. The one with Christian Pulisic, I thought was unlucky. Don't get me wrong. I think Aspi's cross across the to him was quite hard, and for him to just guide it and flick it, it was just a good save for me. But the 2 Mason Mount ones, I don't like. I always have this thing where we have to criticise players based upon their performances per game. And when I look at Mason Mount's performance yesterday, do I think he was great? No. Do I think he should have scored both of his chances? Yes. Do I think he deserves to be criticised based upon this performance? Yes, because he takes these chances earlier in that game. It's a completely different game. I think Chelsea win that game if we take them chances, because I just don't see Liverpool. I think Liverpool, even though they had their moments here and there, they seem to just run out of ideas when they play us. They look like they just run out of ideas, like they don't know what to do next.
True.
And we just needed one of them opportunities to just be put in the back of the net. And Mason Mount has set such high standards of his game because of what he's done in his first 2 seasons at Chelsea, that when he has this dip of form, it's noticeable. Because let's have it right, last 2 seasons we've relied on him. We have relied on him in many games, to dig us out and be an important, integral part of this team. And that's why it's more noticeable for people now, because his form isn't there. His outputs are there, because his outputs are better than his last 2 seasons. But his form's not the same. But for me, he's still an important part of this team. He has to be on the pitch. But, I heard you talking about Hakim Ziyech, and I agree. Hakim Ziyech surprised me massively in his performances. I was one of the guys that said I think he needs to leave. He was a ghost. He's a passenger. The worry I have, Mo, is that all of our forwards, barring Kai Havertz to a degree, are too limited in the way that they play. So we have to play to their way of their strengths to get the best out of them. So why you see Hakim Ziyech playing well in the 4 is because we know that he loves to play off the right, and that gives him the opportunity to do so. Why do we not see him in the 3? Because Tuchel knows it doesn't work for him. That's why he doesn't play him when we're playing the 3-4-3. And the same with maybe other individuals. And I don't know. I just think we have too many forwards that are just a mix of different systems, and when we try and play one works for one, but the others suffer from it, and it just doesn't work for me personally. Kai Havertz, by the way, he has to be the person we have to, and I don't want to say build around, but he has to be the main focal point, like in this system, that and the way that Tuchel likes to play, the pressing, the movement, the running, the work ethic. Kai Havertz is the man that I think we need to have leading the line. And that's not just that's not because I hate Lukaku. It's just that I don't think Lukaku suits us. And I think LB hit it spot on. I don't want to go into it too much with Lukaku, but he just does not fit the way that we want to play. And the only way he will fit it is if he changes his own game. And it just doesn't look like he wants to try and do that. His movement's just too straight. He doesn't make them movement runs like Havertz does, where he drags wide or comes deep. He's just very fixed in his position and making that one straight run behind, and that's it. Like there's nothing else to him, So it is what it is. But congratulations to Liverpool anyway.
Listen. They are the undisputed Carabao champions, and good luck to them, and best wishes. But we still remain world champions and European champions. So everyone has their title. So big up to Liverpool, and good game. I think you're spot on when it comes to the expectations we have in regards to Mason Mount. And I think it's because he is such a good player, and he is such an important part of the team, because of his history, because of the way that he developed in the academy. He went out on loan, what he did with Lampard and Derby. There's a lot of expectations for Mason Mount, hopefully, and he will fulfill those expectations. I think he will do it. We need to give it time. It is. Guys, in the chat, I have put a link to GNA TV. Please do me a favor. Don't do it for him. Do it for me. Yeah, because most of you guys know me and know Jim. So do it for me if you don't want to do it for him. And if you don't want to do it for me, do it for him. Click on that link and make sure you're subscribed to both Blue Lounge and GNA TV. GNA TV, a good friend of the channel, a good contributor to the Blue Lounge. I try to help him out whenever I can, because I don't have time to go on his channel. So whenever he comes on my channel, I give him them shout outs, because he deserves it. GNA TV, they deserve the love. So make sure you click on that link and go subscribe to GNA TV. You will not regret it.
Cheers,
Jem,
mate.
thanks for coming on, mate.
No worries. Thank you.
Hopefully, listen. Yesterday, I had Max Burton and Sadiq with me to the game. So next time, if we're able to link up and go together or meet at the stadium.
I'm waiting for the future meet, mate. What's going on?
Listen, I promised to do it. Listen, guys, me and Jem decided to one day go smoke a shisha and talk about Chelsea. but we just never got around to doing it. So maybe sometime soon.
Yeah,
Sometime soon,
100%,
hopefully.
100%. Thanks for having me, though. Appreciate it. Make sure you smash
Pleasure.
the likes, guys. Subscribe as well.
Pleasure.
As always, get him to 10K. He's nearly there, man.
Let's do
Come
it.
on.
Let's do it. Let's
get
do
him
it.
there.
Cheers, Jim.
All right,
Take care, brother. Have a good night. Bye-bye, Jim. Thank you. Cheers. All right, lads. Fantastic stream as always with you guys. We've hit 112 likes. Brilliant. I'm going to give the remainder of my panelists, I know a lot of them fell asleep during that stream, so I'll give the remainder of my panelists a couple of minutes to give me their final thoughts before we conclude. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Sweet.
Yeah, so great day out, but obviously the result wasn't there. But we'll be back for more. You know, this is a young team. We've got to remember that this is the start of something special. We keep hold of Tuchel. We get in a couple of additions. Next season, I think that will be good to go. As I said before, it wasn't a criticism on Mason Mount. For me, I want all my players to get better. I want them to do better, to be the best person they can. And you know, people are going to be looking at. We're very reactionary supporters, and we're going to be looking at things. And you know, because we didn't win the game, we got a scapegoat. But his finishing does need to improve. That much is true. And if we can get that part of his game sorted, then we've got a special player on our hands. I agree with what someone said earlier about the referees, European referees. Jem just came on. That has to be the way, because as Tobago said as well, it's no coincidence that we win a lot in Europe, but we don't win in England. I forgot to mention before as well, last season, I was the same. Remember Ben Chilwell and the decision? Again, wasn't the arm what was offside against Leicester? And we got robbed in that competition again. We look at the two situations with Anthony Taylor and Arsenal, you know, the handball by Sanchez and the sending off of Kovačić. So in the last 4 domestic finals, we've lost them. Every single one of those finals, there's been some sort of controversy. You know, we've never lost fair and square, you know. So proud of the boys yesterday. They played brilliant football. It was a great spectacle. But you know, I like to win in a fair way, and if we so if we do lose, I want it to be because the other team were better than us, not because we're talking about refereeing decisions. And if we can get to that point, that's that's for me would be good. You know, let's just so we need to just sort out these referees and agendas. And just before I go, just one final thing I want to say. Everton, you know what Everton did today? They wrote a letter to the Premier League demanding an apology from the referee for that decision, what was made against them. Would they get the apology? Maybe not. But you know what would happen? What's going to happen is they're going to think twice about it, because Everton are not messing about. We need to be more active. When decisions are not going our way, we need to be in their faces and say, look, what's going on here? You know, this is enough, you know, and try and put that pressure on. If we do it in the right way, it's good. Jose Mourinho used to do it, and they used to think. But if we do it as a club, you know, it wasn't Frank Lampard; it was the club who wrote this letter. As a club, we need to sort of try and put pressure on them. Or at best, what it'll do, it'll start to let them take notice of these decisions, and maybe, just maybe, it'll make them change or think twice when giving these sort of decisions.
Yep.
So anyway,
yep.
great stream as always, mate. And yeah.
This is Darren from yesterday. The governor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big up, Darren.
So
big up,
Darren,
yeah.
he's about to leave the stream. So have a good night, brother. And it was a fantastic day yesterday.
That's for the stuff, mate. Yeah, and yeah, you have to come on one day and talk, because having spoken to you yesterday, you've got a lot of knowledge on the game, and your input would be valuable, I think. Yeah,
definitely. Guys, I've put Max Burton's link in the chat. Go click on that. go subscribe. Show the Burton Ballers some love. That's GNA TV. Where's Max Burton? I put the link in there somewhere. I need to find it. Here we go. All right. So go click on that link and subscribe to the Burton Ballers. Great channel, great content. Max, have a good night. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, cheers.
Take care, bye.
Take care, the rest of the guys. See you later.
Good night. Good night. Couch, are you there or have you left? Because I'm not sure. You've.
Why not do me next?
I'm gonna. I think Couch is left.
I am actually. Oddly enough,
You're here. You're here.
Yeah, I just went to go pick my son. I came back and you guys are doing the closing statements. I love it, man. Nice. I don't miss out.
Bobby, can you wait for after Couch or go before Couch? How do you guys want to do this? I'm good either
Bobby
way.
go because I'm sure he's been waiting. So,
all right, go on, Bobby.
You know, I've been watching things develop over the past, I would say, about 10 years now. In life in general. And I think one thing that I've come to appreciate is that the conventional way of doing anything and everything has gone out of the window. And most people don't quite realize that nothing fits in the box, as it were. And for you to understand what's going on, you've got to think outside the box in order to get an understanding, not to mention get a solution. Now, in football, at Chelsea, we're experiencing something that, you know, Chelsea is such a unique club. We pioneer a lot of things. And I think we're going through something that hasn't really been done before, and most people haven't got experience of. And that is having a multi-talented group of young players evolving into the finished article. And we are so not used to it that we're expecting, because these young players have been doing this successfully right from Lampard when he was forced to play with the academy lads. And even after that time where the ban was lifted, we bought young. And so it was almost like having an extension of the academy lads. The mistakes and the performances and the issues in and around people like Havertz, well, he makes fewer mistakes now, to be honest, showing what a class player he really is. Mount, Pulisic, all these guys is primarily down to the fact that they're still young and they're still developing. Mount is coming almost to the end of that development route where he really does have to take the next step. He really does. But there's nothing that should come as too much of a surprise. But sadly, as a fan base, we start to expect too much. And even our mature players, you find that quite often mature players, when they come to Chelsea or if they go to any team, we talk about Chelsea because we're focused on Chelsea. Sometimes they take a season, maybe two, to settle in. Hence, you have the evolution of people like Hakim Ziyech. And I think partly that's what Lukaku is going through at the moment. The unique thing about Chelsea is that we don't do what people expect. Our fans expect us to play in a certain way. You know, I was listening with keen interest. LB was saying a lot of very sensible things. But the thing is, he was saying a lot of conventional things. A has to be B, has to be C before you can get to D. Whereas it doesn't have to be like that. And Chelsea are taking an unconventional way to get to success. But we don't appreciate it. And the issue here is that someone like Lukaku, believe me, I was not a fan in the beginning. I have criticized him heavily when he's been sloppy, when he hasn't performed. But when he does perform, when we use him right, when we use him to his strengths, even within this sort of high-octane system that we play, he performs well and gives us another option. We can't keep doing the same things. Why other teams are so frightened of Chelsea is simply because we are the one team that doesn't play a way that they can pin down. We can suddenly do something very, very different, like we did when we brought on Lukaku and Werner yesterday. And Liverpool were completely thrown apart. They just weren't sure how else to react. And let me tell you, Liverpool is no mug. They are a very good team. It's just that we're better. And we're better because we're unconventional. And we're better because we are performing like this with a team that's barely come out of injury and with a very young squad. Are there things to improve? Of course there are. Will we improve it? Well, time will tell. Should we be patient? I think so. I think the time for a lot of the complaining about the team per se needs to stop, and we need to take the ride. We need to understand we're with a manager that's barely been with us for a year. We're with a team that's barely, in terms of their age, a year old, 2 years old, and we're still in the middle of a project. As for Mr. Abramovic, that's another issue. That saddens me a lot. That saddens me a lot. You know, people talk as if there are these sorts of Puritans that are at the helm of a lot of these things like football or any other thing in the world. The world is a corrupt place. The political arena is full of some of the most diabolical people you could think of. The people that run things are usually not good people. And Mr. Abramovich, maybe, just like everybody else, he has his faults. But there's also a lot of things that man has done right. And unfortunately, people have used this rather weird situation going on in Ukraine. A lot of the things we're experiencing now has nothing to do with caring for the sufferings or what's happened to the people in Ukraine, but has everything to do with how people can use this situation to their own gain. There's nothing that man will do that people will find right. If he does this, they'll criticize him. If he gives up the club and leaves it with custodians that he trusts, why wouldn't he? He's the owner of the club, but it's the wrong thing. He's doing it for his own gain. If he decides to say, "Hey, look, I'm a rich man. I'm an influential man. Let me try and see if I can knock up some kind of peace here." Oh, it's all for his own gain. There's nothing that man does that people can say, okay, maybe the guy's trying to do good here, and stick to it. And a lot of that is fueled by those that hate Chelsea. This antagonism towards Chelsea Football Club is real, it's present, and we have to learn to accept that reality. I'm amused when I hear fans talking about, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that. No, it is what it is. And once we understand that, then we can find it easier to deal with and find solutions. Just like Mo said, as a club, just like Everton did, they wrote to the Premier League about the result they got. Will it get them anywhere? Probably not. But by the time 2 or 3 of those letters come from various other clubs that are facing various other situations, it becomes a thing and it can instigate a change. Instigating change doesn't mean you accept the deception. It means you oppose the deception.
Yeah, spot on. All valid points, and I think the key is to learn from our experience and our history in dealing with these situations. Bobby, always a pleasure to have you on, my friend. We'll be talking very soon in the My next upload will be the preview, I think. Then the Luton,
playing
is it?
one,
Yeah, Luton is. I think it's. When is
So
it?
you've only
Is it
got
Wednesday?
tomorrow's preview.
Hold on. Is it? What did it say, Monday? Yeah. Hey, listen, I'll see you tomorrow, mate. I'll literally see you tomorrow. I thought I was going to get a day off, but no, it's not. It's not going to be a day off. Bobby, always a pleasure to have you on, my friend. Take care. Have a good night, brother. Take care. Bye bye. All right, we'll go to Couch Critic. Before I go to Couch Critic, listen, I know a couple of you tried to jump on. When you see the word lines are open on the screen, that is when I will be accepting call-ins. If you are coming in outside of that time, I apologize, but I can't let you on. It's just going to mess up my entire stream schedule. So I do allocate time for you guys to come on. And when that link is in the chat, the link will always be in the chat, but you're only allowed to come on when I've actually have this banner. I'll show it to you. When you see this banner on the screen, you're welcome to jump on. When I take it off, unfortunately, I can't accept any more call-ins. So I do apologize for that. For the guys who tried to come on, I do apologize. Couch, welcome back. Give me your final thoughts. And before we hear from Couch, I got to do this. The link is in the chat for this man's YouTube channel. The Couch Critic, fantastic content that deserves more love from the YouTube algorithm. He's not getting that. So do me a favor and subscribe to the Couch Critic and show some love to his channel. We've just lost Podfather. All right, Couch, let me hear your final thoughts, mate.
I guess he doesn't like my show, man. He's like, no, forget that, man. I'm out of here.
Forget that, man. I don't want to hear this.
Oh man,
him and his offside decision talk.
Yeah, what is this guy talking about? He obviously doesn't have a protractor. No, I hear you. First and foremost, enjoyable stream once again. Some very obviously hot button topics to cover. Not just the Roman stuff, but obviously the match itself. Man, I don't even know where to start. Like, I'm very, very, very proud of the boys. I thought they put in an incredible shift. 1 to 20, 1 minute, minute 1 to minute 120 was scintillating football, and we have nothing. We can't do nothing but hold our heads high, and feel good about the performance that we put in. Because if we can continue to get these sort of like performances in big matches, then we know that we're gonna. I know. Okay, one sec, bud. Okay, we know that we're gonna be able to perform at the top level in Europe. So if we can do that consistently, we're in good stead, and I'm excited about that. Again, like this comes down to officiating for me. I'm like really, really disappointed that the FA continually get decisions where they're using VAR and still get them wrong. And not just like the offside. I'm talking about like the endangerment of a player. Like that is a stonewall red card, no questions about it. And that should have been reviewed, at least to the point where the VAR ref is saying, listen, Atwell, you need to come over and look at this. This looks a little bit reckless here. You know, this guy almost lost a ball. You know, like, you know, those types of decisions.
Literally,
you know what I mean?
Lost it, never coming back, coming back.
And like you would assume that like the referees, you know, anyone that any male that saw that would have been like, ooh, immediately. And once you say ooh, that is a red card offense. I'm sorry. That's it. Okay. Yeah, but like again, we move, man. Like as I said, like when we win, this is why we celebrate as hard as we do, because it's against all the odds, as our friend what's his name there that did the video? I can't remember his name now, but anyhow.
Chalaba. Oh, you mean the LB,
YouTube video. Anyhow, we win against the odds. So we're not just beating the opponent, we're beating the federations, we're beating the referees and whatnot in order to achieve our success. So I'm always elated when we play well and win, and I'm also elated when we play well and don't win, because you know when situations like the one on the weekend happen, you can only hold your head up high because we did everything that we could do to win that match, you know, and everyone was on point. Of course, we didn't have the best performances from all 11 on the pitch, but for the most part, we had. You want ice cream? Okay, one sec, but just say hi to Mo. Say hi to Mo first.
Hello.
Oh, he's waving. He doesn't want to use words. Okay. Yeah. So eventually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna be able to play football, and not let the referees influence our results, because we're just gonna be finishing our chances. These are the fine margins that govern Chelsea Football Club right now. If we can't take our chances, we can't depend on referees to bail us out. That's just a fact. So we just got to be better and more clinical in the opportunities that are presented to ourselves. So with that, I'm going to leave on that. I'm looking forward to the Luton game. I think that's another opportunity for us to again kick on and play some good football and start finding ourselves. Might see some other players come into the mix as well. Maybe Kennedy gets a run out, just because 120 minutes. A lot of running, and then on top of that, just emotionally, the way we lost that game, I think that you're probably going to want to rest some guys and get them ready for the weekend. So
yeah,
who knows?
I'd love to see Boogeyman's lineup having Kennedy, and he actually does start for once.
Kennedy will probably come off the bench, but Barkley might start. I'm joking.
No. Hey, listen. Don't cancel out. Barkley, Loftus-Cheek, Kennedy. We can see some new faces. Getting a start in that game. But yeah, we'll wait and we'll see. Couch, always a pleasure to have you on, my man. I know you got your hands full, so I'll let you go.
All right, brother.
Take care, Bubba. Have a good night. Have a good night, guys. The Couch Critic. The link is in the chat. Do me a favor and do yourself a favor by clicking on that link and subscribing to his channel. You will enjoy his content. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Everyone is welcome on the Blue Lounge. We try to keep it chill. We try to keep it logical, factual, realistic. Thanks to everyone who stuck around to the end of the stream. If you haven't hit the like button yet, you can do it before you leave. And also, if you haven't subscribed, do me a favor and yourself a favor by subscribing to the Blue Lounge. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for our FA Cup preview, Chelsea Luton. Have a good night. Take care. Up the Chelsea and peace out.